Carlton are in the West to take on the West Coast Eagles, and the Blues simply cannot afford to lose tonight. Results this round has seen Carlton drop out of the 8, following on from 2 straight defeats. They would be expecting a return to winning ways against West Coast, an Eagles side still beset by injury, and with just 1 win for the year. Big questions tonight for West Coast too. Who stops Patrick Cripps? Can Ruben Jinby be given another massive role in his debut year? And can Jai Cully, after 4 goals last week, continue to build as the new cult hero in the Eagles' nest? The pressure, though, is on the visitors. What do we expect from a Carlton side keen to return to winning ways? Good to have you with us. Round 7 continues Saturday night in Perth. Clint Wilden with you alongside Dave Lindsay. G'day, Dave.
G'day, Clint. Always good to be here. Saturday night footy in the West. It's a perfect night for football. Couldn't have asked for anything better for spectators and players, and it's over to really the Carlton Blues right now. Can they respond? They were flying high a couple of weeks ago. A couple of good judges had them finishing top 4, but right now, as you mentioned, they've slipped outside the top 8, so there's no room for any error here this evening. And can the West Coast Eagles find some form as well? Still so many players out, but what can they muster tonight against Carlton?
No late changes to either side. The subs for West Coast. Rhett Bazzo gets his opportunity, while Carlton has Matthew Kennedy, we heard during the week, goes out because of the way the teams have to be named, but Michael Voss, the coach, saying he would always come straight back in as the sub. Hearn returning will be a big difference for the West Coast Eagles regarding experience, while for the Blues, Kemp's back in, and then I would think 2 keys for them, the way they go about their business. Doherty and Sard returning for the Carlton Football Club. How does it all play out? Only got about another 8 minutes before we get things underway here in the West. There is another game on. We'll keep you right across Melbourne and North Melbourne. But let's preview this one. West Coast and Carlton. Great to have Shane Woden and Sharad Wellingham with us. Gentlemen, what are we expecting?
Thanks, Clint. Great to be here, Shaz. Looking forward to this one today. A very inexperienced West Coast, not doing a hell of a lot, no, probably just lacking the ability to sustain the effort for long periods through games where they're falling over. They're actually playing some decent footy through periods of it, and hopefully that can continue tonight. But for me tonight, pressure all on Carlton. On where they're at, where they're going, what they're doing. You would have thought after last week's loss against St Kilda, statistically after that, how do you lose that with that much footy in your hands, individually as well as from a collective group? But so a big road trip for them and a fair bit to play out, 2 big keys. So I just hope West Coast tonight continue to take this game on. And I don't really want to see Jimmy go into Cripps. I want to go head to head, take him on,
let him work off him,
and let the kid play. Yeah, I know it's a go to body at stoppage, then really work Cripper on the transition. So big job for him.
Yeah, you're bang on. I think that there is going to be a lot of pressure on Carlton, and when you look at their season so far, it has just been that really bland and nothing's really sticking out from them. Are they good at the contested footy? Are they good at getting the ball inside their forward 50 and locking it in? Are they good at rebounding? Nothing is really sticking out. And you look at their stats, they're either bottom or middle of the ladder when it comes to all of their key statistics. And so they've got to pick a brand of footy that they want to play. They've got to rely heavily on getting it inside their forward 50 and letting their 2 towers in Curnow and Mackay just get to work and let them create contest forward of the play and then allow their smalls to get to work, because they do have some talented smalls around those 2 key forwards, but they're just not even getting it in there. And when they do manage to turn it over in their back half, they're not having the efficiency with rebounding, so they're not getting it the whole way around. And that's why their disposals stack up and they're getting their hands on the ball, but it's just because they're mucking around with it, doing nothing with it, not playing any direct brand of footy. And I hope the Vossi's just telling them to take the game on, get it inside their forward half, play a territory game, lock it in there. And this could be the opportunity for them to do it up against, as we know, a really injury-ravaged West Coast and an inexperienced. Like Clint said, we've got Shannon Hearn going in and adds a lot of experience behind the ball, but is that going to be enough to hold up what is such a powerful forward line for Carlton? I personally don't think it will be, and we know as we watch West Coast throughout this year that all we want to see is a consistent effort through the game, and you're exactly right. I think we have managed to see that, and we've seen them get tired and get exposed, and they will get tired because they are a young and inexperienced side, but I think that the effort has been there from them, and they will be able to probably come away from a lot of their games holding their, not I don't think you ever come away with a loss holding your head high, but you come away and go, we found positives in that game.
Absolutely.
And so I think that if they can continue to do that, they'll be able to progress and find themselves in better positions throughout the year. Like you said, they get these experienced opposition players that they get to have these young guys coming up against. Jinby running up against Cripps tonight, that's just an enormous learning curve, isn't it? I mean,
absolutely.
In your first few years, if you got to run against one of the premier midfielders in the competition, reigning Brownlow medalist, you'd be absolutely stoked. I mean, not in terms of the performance a couple of hours ahead of you. You're learning from it. You come away from that game and you go, oh, his positioning, his movement, like you go do your game review and you go, oh, I just learnt so much. And like you said, I hope that is what they allow him to do. Go and man up on him at the stoppage, work off him, make him know where you are as well. And I really do hope that they allow him to play with that freedom. We spoke with Matty Knights this morning, and he said that they're playing a little bit too quick, which I understand because the game can get away from you if you get caught playing a certain pace the whole time. But if they are able to play with that freedom and then have the experienced guys go, look, we've just had a couple of goals kicked against us, let's not just play into that, let's play control for a little bit. I think that the speed in which that they will grow as players will be there.
Some big positive, like Bailey Williams. That's been a positive in the last few weeks.
Massive.
Learning to run out games. I reckon his tank's always been an issue, but 13 clearances last week, I think. So that's an enormous effort. So he's growing before our eyes as a player too, and he's on a genuine big ruckman. But there's things there that are positive.
His ability the last couple of weeks
follow up,
like outside that 3 metre to get to that 5 to 8 metre radius has just been awesome. Been really, really good, especially obviously last week. But if he can continue to do that as an undersized number one ruckman, you come back in and you got Nick Nat towards the back end of the year, and he can be that secondary ruckman. Allow Oscar to stay forward. He'll thrive.
I'm wondering if Bazzo's is it a missed opportunity tonight to not playing?
I was discussing it with one of my mates on the drive in that they should have just had him in.
Like, you're playing against two big boppers up there who are very talented footballers in Curnow and Mackay, but as a young developing key back, and they haven't got a lot of big back stocks at the moment in this team. I feel with injuries at the moment, but just an opportunity to play and again learn. That's where they're at right now. So hopefully, we don't hope any injuries, but you get some game time in today, you get to play on the best, and you get to learn again what it's like to play on some good key forwards.
The Carlton midfield, we know how strong it is. Walsh, Cripps the captain, Hollands has been really impressive from what we've seen of him so far. And you can chuck in Chera, who looks like he might be just starting to capture the sort of form that saw him move across to Carlton from Freo, why they were so keen to get him. With no Luke Shuey, how much extra responsibility now goes onto the likes of Tim Kelly tonight for the West Coast Eagles, who's been having a wonderful season.
Great season.
But for them to have any hope to even break even in the middle, Edwards is alongside him. Hunt, they're also going to have, you mentioned the youngster who's been amazing in Jinby, and Gaff, that's not really his sort of role. But so Kelly seems to me to be the one who's going to shoulder extra responsibility against tonight.
But I think you look at the Carlton stats, and they're getting their hands on the footy a lot. They're junk. They're junk.
It's a
tough word to say. But in terms of how damaging they're being with the ball, it's just not there. They're in position and getting it in the right spots, but I just don't think that they are being aggressive enough when they do get their hands on the footy.
It was 140 marks last week, so you're not going anywhere with territory.
And I don't want to take that back, but it is a little bit of junk footy. They're not doing enough with it to say, all right, I'm averaging 29 touches, but you look at some of their players and they're averaging less than 300 metres gained as a midfielder. You want to be touching 400 to 500 as a midfielder.
Just tell us what you think. That's what we love about you.
I think junk's a bit harsh. Like, it's not junk because you're still getting your hands on the footy.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
They're not kicking it back. They're not kicking it backwards. They're just not being super effective with it.
Dave Lindsay.
The two captains came together in the middle, and Paddy Cripps was the winner of the coin toss, and Carlton will head towards the city end, towards the right-hand side of your radio in the first quarter.
Akash Fodadar is the other member of our team downstairs on the boundary. G'day, Akash.
Good evening, Clint. It's a pretty cool night for footy. Slight breeze to the Graham Farmer Freeway end of the ground. Starting on the bench for West Coast, Luke Edwards, Alex Witherden, Xavier O'Neill and Jai Cully. Rhett Bazzo is the sub. And for Carlton, Sam Doherty, Nick Newman, Zach Fisher and Ed Curnow on the bench. Matt Kennedy is the sub.
Umpire holds the ball aloft. It's the Blues Here in WA to take on the Eagles. Carlton need a win. So too to West Coast. Can the Blues fight their way back into the 8? Let's find out. Here's Dave Lindsay.
Perfect bounce to start. Pitton wins it in the ruck. Cripps tracking the football, can't get there. Williams gets there first for West Coast. A hand pass off to Hunt, and the Eagles go forward first with a long kick, but it's well judged in the air. A fine mark taken by Kemp, one of the inclusions, who kicks out towards half-back. Mackay down low, gathers the awkward footy. Hand pass away to Hewitt. Back to Young in his 50th game. Kicks very wide with his right boots. Straight down the throat of Duggan, who marks right beneath our broadcast position up here in level 4 of Perth Stadium. And Duggan will send the Eagles forward.
He'll kick into the left forward pocket. Good mark. Going up to make sure that's been dragged in the Blues. They've got it here. This is Kemp. Mentioned one of the players coming into the side this week. He kicks beyond defensive 50. Barris stands there. Silvani attacked the football. Barris is able to emerge with it. Not a great hand pass backwards. William put his head over the top of the footy for the Eagles. Slapped it forward to Hunt. He was tackled straight away by Pitton. It spills out. Walsh. Hand passes it forward. Now to Durden. Kicks towards right half forward. Here's Charlie Curnow. He marks. 70 from goal. Spots a player inside forward. 50. Hollands marks. Right in front of goal. He'll be kicking from no more than 30 metres out.
Not sure why Greg Clark collapsed so much as that fat side winger come across to support, but had no influence on the contest at all and just got bypassed. And Connor West just had too much ground to make up on Holland.
And that bit of play we just saw from Curnow is exactly what makes him such a damaging player. Marking at 80 out and finding someone inside the 450.
Hollands on his way in. Steadies, kicks the goal. One inside 50 for the Blues in the opening 2 minutes. One major on the scoreboard for Carlton. Oliver Hollands gets his first goal in AFL football.
Teammates definitely getting around him to make him feel welcome to the Gold Club. He's played every game this year, and I think he's been really, really good. His first game was exceptional, and he hasn't really taken a backward step. I think he's got a reasonably large tank on him for a first year.
I think he's a sub-6, isn't he, for 2K? He's elite runner.
19 years of age, taken at pick 11 in the 22 draft.
Yeah, been really impressed with him this year, his ability to cover the ground. And he is a slight player, but doesn't shirk an issue at all. Puts his body on the line game after game.
So first goal to the visitors. Bounce favours Pitnett, who flicks it over the back, searching for Chera. Knows this ground well. He's tackled without having possession of the football.
It's already 4 contested marks for Carlton too already. Airily, both ends of the ground.
Chera, he's got the 2 different coloured boots on as he sends this one long, straight up the middle. Big target up in front is Mackay. And he juggles it, claiming it at the second bite. And there's some warning signs early here for the Eagles. Carlton lining up for their second after 3 minutes.
That's what we needed to see from Carlton, just willingness to get it inside their forward 50 and let the big guys get to work.
Now, Carlton fans will hold their breath right now because we're going to go through the circus act, which is the Harry Mackay kicking for goal. What will he produce? He's virtually directly in front, but he's going to step out and bend it around the corner, and he's snuck it home. Well, whatever works, that'll be good enough for Carlton tonight. And Harry Mackay has his first. We're 3.5 minutes in here at Perth Stadium. Carlton with the first 2 goals on the board. The Eagles yet to score.
It's intriguing. A lot of discussion the past 7 days with it, isn't it? With his routine.
I mean, it's obviously what he feels most comfortable doing. But it's a strange setup for someone who has such a big, powerful kick.
Again,
I feel more comfortable going around the corner he's kicked it from 40 metres out?
Straight in front. I just still don't understand why Barras doesn't take body on Mackay. Could anchor him and let someone else come over the top, but just don't let these big key forwards jump at the footy.
Shouldered one of his own teammates out of the way to get to that, Mackay. Great start for the Blues. Pitnett again wins it down to Hewitt. Short hand pass to Cripps. Tackled by Kelly, got the hand pass out. Walsh, hand pass again. Jimby over the top, got work past it. Hewitt did well to Sard. Sard moving it forward. Again, it's with Walsh. Hand passes behind Chera. Jimby got in the way. Gave it to Petreski-Seaton. Now at last a chance for the Eagles. To Gaff. Flares it out to Clark. Shy of the wing. Southern side of Perth Stadium. The kick is in the direction of Allen. Off hands down to West. Moves it again to Gaff. Now a chance to go inside forward 50. Petruccelli will kick towards goal. Over the top. Touched, was it? Is it going across the line? Oh, it was very close. Petreski-Seaton stretched. Not sure if it was going through for a major otherwise, but nonetheless, it is a score on the board for West Coast. They're one behind. 2 straight, 12 the Blues, 5 gone in the first.
The Eagles finally getting their hands on the footy. 18 of the first 22 possessions claimed by Carlton, and they're working it down the line at the moment. Durden ducks under the tackle. Hand pass away to Walsh. Has Cripps running by. That's the direction the hand pass goes. He waits some traffic to go past. Back to Durden. Short little pass. Hits up Hewitt. And the ex-Swan has it about 80 metres from goal at right half forward. Stabs it in low. Curnow on the lead. Strong pair of hands. Mackay's taken one already. And now Charlie Curnow, who set up the first goal, can have a shot for one of his own.
Already again. Another Martin Curnow inside 50. Rotham just not big enough, is he?
He's not going to be able to get around him if he's leading at the ball. It's going to be near impossible.
3 marks inside 50 already for Carlton. And Charlie Curnow from right on the 50 sets it well out to the right. It starts to swing back, but there's a lot more work to be done. So just the minor score, 2-1. Plays 1 behind after 6 minutes in the first term.
No, didn't body him up either. You know, let him create that leading lane. And
Demons are up and about against North. They lead 5 straight 30. North yet to score. 13 minutes gone in the opening term. Goodness me, what a start that is there. Back here at Perth Stadium, below us, Sard tries to win the football. Tackled by Darling. Gets some support as well in there with it. There'll be a ball up just forward of centre wing for the Blues. Leading by 12. Thrown up into the air again. Williams has done well. Work Pitton out from under that. And kicks. It'll bounce towards centre half forward. Allen gathers. Tackled to ground. Worked it inside forward 50 though. Trying to pick it up with no real luck was Kemp under real pressure. Came out the side. West had a hurried kick on goal. From about 30 out, he needed a lucky bounce. He didn't get it. Doherty leapt up and took it over the behind line for a minor score. The Eagles are 2 behinds. Carlton are 2-1-13. 7 gone in the first.
Playing game 149. What an event it will be next week when Doherty plays his 150th game. Hands it away to Sard, who was cramped for room. Good pressure there from Petruccelli-Seaton, forcing Sard to kick errantly with his non-preferred right, and it's out of play for a throw-in. It's just a remarkable story that he's back out there playing football, Sam Doherty, but to get to 150 across 2 clubs, Brisbane and Carlton, a fantastic achievement. Now Chera from the stoppage down the line. In front, Rotham playing his 50th game. Has it spoilt from him by Charlie Curnow. Boundary thrown alongside the interchange gates where Carlton have set up tonight. Slightly closer to the goals at the city end. The Blues leading by 11 points.
Eagles once again without their captain. Luke Shuey injured for tonight. Williams wins it down. Bounces back to him off the plays. Hand pass over the top. Petreski-Seaton under pressure straight away. Newman got in the way. Spills out the side here, and the Blues can control it once more. Newman getting it from Hewitt. He kicks towards right half forward, and then marking Hearn, who's back in the team. Silvani gave him a little nudge over the boundary line. The crowd wanted a bit more. Instead, Hearn will go back. Premiership captain for West Coast and take his kick. He's at left half back. Thumps it towards left half forward. Stretching, Pittonet almost had it. Williams knocked it away. Sard gathers, has to shovel it back under pressure to Wiedering, and then taken over the boundary line is Kemp. Strong tackle coming from Hunts. Ball in, left half forward for the West Coast Eagles, who trail by 11 on the scoreboard. Carlton 2-1, the Eagles 2 behinds. 9 gone in the first. The Demons still by 30 points over North at the MCG. 16 minutes gone in the first there.
38 disposals to 18 in Carlton's favour. You can make that 40 to 18 now as a kick goes down the line by Akers. It bounces just inside the field of play and goes out of play. Akash Fodadar is down on the boundary for us this evening.
Interesting to see that Adam Simpson is actually coaching from the bench to start the game. We've seen him come down at half-time a couple of times this season, but the first time he started down here.
Boundary umpire to get play back underway. Pittonet and Williams. Williams wanted to make body contact. Pittonet was strong enough to get the ball down to Chera. Hand pass out wide to Hewitt. Looks inside, nothing on. Forced to kick down the line to a contest. Charlie Curnow sandwiched between Duggan and Rotham. And off hands, it's out of play for another boundary throw-in. Still on our broadcast side wing, Carlton with the first 2 goals of the game off the boots of Hollands and Mackay. They still lead by 11. 10 minutes gone, first term.
Ball spun back in. Williams goes to ground against Pitnet, who had it, kicked straight into Hunt. Ball hit the deck. Socked forward by Kelly, only as far as Sard for the Blues on the commentary wing. Gave it off to Kemp. Kicks towards right half forward. Up and marking Duggan. Read it well. Plays on by hand. The Eagles through Jones. Kicking down the commentary wing towards left half forward. Goes over the top of the pack. Out the back. Chance for Cully. He gathers 60 from goal. Centering kick and he finds Darling. That was good play from the West Coast Eagles, and Jack Darling with the opportunity to kick there first. He'll put boot to ball, starting in line with the left hand behind post. He'll kick from 45 out.
Good mentality from Duggan on turnover then, just to get the ball moving, put it into Jermaine Jones' hands, someone who likes to make it up on the go. And then Cully, a beautiful inside 50.
Jack Darling, a hop and a skip. He moves across the 50, kicks on its way. That's a disappointing finish. Darling missing to the left. 3 behinds to start for the West Coast Eagles. The Blues with the same number of scoring shots. They're 2-1-13, 11 gone in the first. Grandstand AFL from Perth Stadium. Clint Wilton alongside Dave Lindsay in commentary.
Kick back into play from McGovern. His brother not playing tonight, of course. Finding Wiedering long down the line. Charlie Curnow up high. Can't take the mark. Hewitt was tackled high. He'll get the free kick and take his 8th disposal of the game with a hand pass to Doherty. Long towards right half forward. Good use of the body by Mackay, who then drops the mark. Did all the hard work against Barris to get him out of position and then dropped the chest mark. Boundary throw in. 47 disposals to 23 in Carlton's favour, but again, not as much impact with that football as they would like. Throw in. One to the front by Young. As the backup rucks go at it. Waterman was his opponent.
Yeah, it's all handball from Carlton at the moment around the contest, just shaping it to release the kicker.
Get a ball up after Hunt couldn't get out of the congestion. Ball comes down to O'Neill. Feeds it back to Hunt, the ex-Demon. High and long down the line. Darling with the spoil. Front and square to the contest is West. Hacks the kick forward and it lands in the lap of Allen. There's no one forward of Allen as he marks at centre half forward. Waits for the traffic to go past. Short pass finds Jones. Cruising pass with a hand pass is Witherden. He's a beautiful kick of the football and he's nailed the shot for goal. Alex Witherden's first goal of the season and the Eagles get some reward for effort. They're 1-3-9. They trail Carlton 2-1-13. We've played 13 minutes in the first quarter here at Perth Stadium. Listen to Grandstand AFL. Sharad Willingham and Shane Woden, your experts.
Really important piece of that play was just the fist that Darling decided to get on that contest, because it was a 2v1 and instead of getting beaten, it meant that the ball was more likely to come to ground, and then West Coast's ability to crumb that was just perfect. I think it may have been West who then just got it on the boot, forward to Oscar Allen. The composure he showed, no one forward of him.
No.
Let the cavalry arrive, and then a streaming goal. Really, really smart from Oscar Allen and Jack Darling there.
West Coast leading the inside 50s at the moment, 6-3. Carlton have scored every time they've gone inside forward 50 though. West Coast getting ever closer, 4 points that difference as the Eagles trying to get it away through it. O'Neill comes out to Jones, tackled the ground. Cripps emerges with it, strong for the Blues. Hand passing towards centre half forward. Duggan got in the way, tackled by Walsh, got the ball out to Gaff, hands it on to Waterman at centre half back, kicks the Eagles to the outer side. Getting in front, well done Chincotta. He'll run towards left half forward, kicks inside the forward 50, strong hands Charlie Curnow. Had a player right on him, Rotherham was behind him, Curnow in front, hands up high. Great mark.
They miss a McGovern, they miss a Edwards, don't they? Just those big defenders. That's why I thought Bazzo was maybe, I know he's maybe a bit lighter, but a bit taller. His levers might be able to just get in there and force a contest.
Charlie Curnow, 45-degree angle out to the left, kicks on its way. Goal umpire leans back and watches it sail over his hat. The Blues have got their third. 3-1-19. West Coast 1-3-9. 15 gone in the first. The Cash Fodderars downstairs.
Lewis Young's just come off the ground for Carlton with blood coming from his nose. I think it was the rock contest where he might have caught one in the face.
It's a good spoil by Chincotta, wasn't it? Just to be able to get his hand in there late, get it to a one-on-one. It was a good kick by Waterman.
It is a definite area of concern, though.
Absolutely.
4 inside 50s, 4 marks inside 50.
And both of the gun forwards have a goal on the board already, midway through the first quarter.
And Kerno has 3 marks already.
So Pitnett forced to come back into the ruck early. It's a shocking bounce in the middle. We'll need to redo that one. According to the stat sheet, there's 2 kilos difference between Rotham and Bazzo, and 2 centimetres difference.
Yeah, so not much, is it?
Not much, according to the stats anyway. They're not always correct. Free kick will be paid here as Carlton. In fact, it's a mark paid as Carlton moved it towards half forward, and it's Walsh. Very congested attacking 50, so he squares the kick up, finds Newman. Beautiful user normally, flares it out very wide now. They still haven't entered the attacking 50. Taking the mark is Akers. Playing on his old home venue. Doesn't like anything forward of the play, so he retreats back to Wiedering. Wiedering into the corridor for Newman again. They've worked it back to the centre circles just about. Every player on the ground ahead of Newman. As he punches this one in low towards the pocket. Pitnett the lead, goes up one-handed, brings the ball to ground. Akers tries to shrug a tackle, spun about 180 degrees, somehow got a kick back towards Hewitt, who sets it up for Cripps. Squeezed between a couple of Eagles. Through comes Witherden to provide support. Cripps just rips the ball out of his hands. Off to Walsh. Hurried snap from 25 out, but it's away to the left. Strength from Paddy Cripps, the Brownlow medalist, having an impact early. Carlton's lead now 11 points at 3-2, playing 1-3 after 17 minutes in the first quarter.
If you'd like to get in touch, 0437 774 774. 0437 774 774. The Eagles head to the southern wing. Akers is there though for the Blues, to Wiedering by hand to Cripps. Hands it back again to Akers. Kicks inside forward 50. Lovely foot pass. And he finds one of the 2 towers. I speak of Harry Mackay, out to mark on his chest. Marking 30 from goal, 45-degree angle to the left.
Drop punt from the side of the ground, I would have thought. It's a great pass inside 50 by Blake Akers.
Sort of delivery that Freo missing at the moment. As Mackay, his kick misses. Did go with the more traditional set shot from the left forward pocket, missing to the left-hand side. A minor score. 3-3-21, Carlton 1-3-9 the Eagles, 18 gone in the first.
Shannon Hearn putting his kicking skills on display with a pumping drop punt all the way beyond half back. Edwards taking the mark. Long kick up the line. Wiedering worked back hard to spoil Allen. In comes Chera to provide support. Hands it back to Wiedering. Takes on the tacklers and he's caught. 2-man tackle. Free kick will go the way of Petruccelli. Just forward of the wing. Southern side of the ground. Makes some ground inboard before sending his kick towards the right forward pocket. Williams and Darling both there. It's knocked away from the pair of them. Sard with the hand pass receive. Gets the right boot to the foot. He clears the zone, but it'll come back. Foley, too slow, but he's pushing the back. Mackay trying to put that pressure on, coming from behind, just a little overzealous with the tackle and driving him straight into the very hard Perth Stadium turf. So Foley now winds up on the right again, sets it up into the pocket. Chera has to stand his ground and does a good job to spoil it towards the safety of the boundary. Darling was bearing down on him. I see a boundary throw in right forward pocket. Carlton sitting on a 2-goal buffer after 19 minutes.
Didn't really crash that one, did he, Jack Darling? Probably could have brought that ball to front. Get his smalls into play.
Ball spun back in. Right full forward. Pitnett got the touch. Petruccelli out after it, looking to emerge with it. Here's Kemp getting a hand pass out, taken by Wiedering, deep in the right back pocket. He's under pressure, he kicks out of bounds on the full. West Coast to take it. 65 out from their attacking goal. They're heading to the Farmer Freeway end. What is left in this quarter, we're about to head into time on in the first.
It's a bit ambitious going the barrel, wasn't it?
Here's Duggan. He'll put it up to the hot spot. They come from everywhere. Allen had fingertips on it, spilled out the back. Gathering it is Akers. Throws it on the boot. It'll bounce it left half back. Got him underneath it. Clever. Punches it down. Moving it short again. Chance here for Foley. Moving it quickly. Now Clark towards Allen. Got fingertips to it. Couldn't quite mark. It was spoiled down. O'Neill then wrapped up. Strong tackle. Ed Curnow. Still at full forward though for West Coast. 3-3-21 of the Blues. 1-3-9 the Eagles. Into time on in the first.
Darling does the ruck work. Slaps it into space for West. Close to the boundary. Won't be able to keep this in. Chincotta does enough to get him and the footy over. Boundary throw in. Nice setup from the Eagles. Darling finding some space with his ruck tap. He'll do the work at the boundary throw in opposed to Pittonet this time. Pittonet starting behind. Can't use the body too well there. Again, Darling connects with West, but his hand pass goes astray. Akers forced just to kick for space. Towards the wing, right in front of our broadcast position. Duggan tried a toe poke. He overruns the footy. Ed Curnow applies the pressure and then wins the footy as well. Hand pass back to Doherty. Creative hand pass finds Durden. Crossing the centre line. A little chip pass. Getting a hand to it, Barras. Mackay tries to barge his way through 2 or 3 Eagles. He's caught holding the ball, and Duggan takes it away to advantage.
And he kicks quickly to a 2-on-2 at left half forward. Spoiled from Wiedering of the Blues. It bounced perfectly there for Akers. Sweeps the hand pass inboard to Chera. Kicks Carlton into the middle of the ground. He spots Newman. Marking, playing on quickly. Ball bounces straight in front. Honey has to turn around. Kicks around the body. It sits there for Fisher. He gets around one, then just gets tackled. Hand passes off to Silvani. Goes back to Newman. 51 out from goal. Steps towards the 50-metre line. Shoots a goal and he misses. A minor score. Kicking to the left-hand side. 3-4-22 the Blues. 1-3-9 West Coast. 22 gone in the first. Let's get a little update for you. The game at the MCG was all about the Demons, and it remains that way. 28 gone in the first. The Demons by 37. 6-1 to North yet to score.
Winners earlier today, Brisbane, GWS and the Western Bulldogs as well. Back to the traditional 5 matches on the Saturday as Carlton have turned this over from the kick-in in Walsh. Instead of blazing away from 45 out, stabs it into the pocket, and it's Harry Mackay yet again on the lead. This time the right forward pocket, so it'll open up for his left boot.
It's too easy at the moment for Carlton. Just the ability to just get their hands on the footy. They're plus 40 in disposals.
The angle about 45 degrees to the right. 30 metres out. Harry Mackay steps out to the left, starts to bend it back, and he's timed it perfectly. It just snuck in the left-hand upright. Harry's got a couple already, and Carlton have 4 of the first 5 of the game. 4-4-28. They lead West Coast 1-3-9. We've played nearly 23 minutes in the first term here on Grandstand AFL.
Yeah, just punishing them on the turnover, aren't they? Their ability to break from inside to outside without enough pressure on the ball carrier, and then the receivers just too wide open.
I don't know why Barras was folding back then. Had the leading lane covered for Mackay to work into.
Bit of awful news from the game in Melbourne. Charlie Comben of North Melbourne has suffered a suspected broken leg. He was stretchered off at the 15-minute mark of the opening term. He's been subbed out. Daniel Howe in.
That's no good.
No, we wish him the very best. That's awful news. Restart here in the middle. Tap one down by the Blues. Cripps can't get a clearance away. Set upon straight away. O'Neill and Kelly in the middle to tackle him to ground. Both rucks have a touch on it. Spills down to Walsh. Tried to get a hand pass out. Kelly overread it. Allows O'Neill to gather. Gave it back to Gaff. Kicks towards centre half forward. Cully got hands to it. Spilled down. Came to Petreski-Seaton, then to West. Now to Edwards and into the right forward pocket. He sends it. It's seen over the boundary line defensively. Petrocelli was the target. Spoiled, though, over the line for a throw-in. Demons by 31. Again, just repeat. From the throw-in, Darling takes clean possession. Sweeps a hand pass forward. Attacking was Young. Spilled it away. Trying to get to it, Hewitt. His hand pass was meant to Sard. Pressure came, though, from Petreski-Seaton. It's good pressure, too, and it's seen the ball over the boundary for a throw-in. About 20 out from the Eagles' attacking goal. 24 and a bit gone here in the opening term. The Blues lead is 19 points here on Grandstand AFL.
Petrevski-Seton enjoying this contest against his old side. Pittonet comes to the front of this contest, wins it down to Hewitt. Throws the ball in the right boot, bounces it beyond defensive 50, and off hands it'll go out of play for a throw in now at right half forward for West Coast. Carlton with the first 2 goals of the game before Witherden kicked the Eagles' only goal so far, and then another 2 to the Blues since then. Still plenty of time before the siren goes to end this first term. Pittonet to the front. Cripps wears the tackle and then hands it away towards Walsh. Drills the pass into Silvani. Strong enough to hold the mark with Witherden right on his hammer. He's got Sard waving his arms in the middle of the ground. The kick goes in that direction and it gets to him. Great use of the football. Hand pass off to McGovern, charging by with the left. Pops it into the pocket, but backing back. A very nicely judged mark by Foley, and then his kick lets him down. Searching for Witherden on the way out. It's gone out of bounds on the full, and Carlton will have the free kick at left half forward.
They got time to get one more, the Blues. Hollins sends it with the right, deep towards full forward. Attacking the football, Duggan couldn't quite get there, spilled out the side. Here's Fisher with a hand pass to no one in particular. Lots of players overrunning it. Petrevski-Seton couldn't gather, neither could Kelly. Petrevski-Seton goes again, second time. Got it to O'Neill, then to West. Clearing kick beyond defensive 50, but down the throat of Kemp. He marks for the Blues at right half forward. Goes inside the centre square to Sard. He'll look to flare it out to Hollins between centre half forward and left half forward. From the attacking point of the centre square, not a great kick inside forward 50. Bounced in front of Silvani. As he gathered, he was taken to ground by Kelly. Umpire says we'll ball it up.
It's only the one, Tim Kelly. Hewitt's doing a good job on him at the moment. He's at 11.
Yeah, Hewitt himself getting plenty of the ball. Foley leaves the ball behind at the ball up. Through comes Hollins again, tackled by Waterman.
But Tim Kelly has to fight through it at times. It's going to be a hard day for him in the office.
He's close to this ball up, pointing fingers, wanting teammates to cover opponents. No one covers Fisher, who steps through. A bit of congestion, sends it goalward. But the West Australian has missed well wide to the left. 4-5 Carlton. They lead the Eagles 1-3. 27 minutes gone in the first.
20-point margin to the visitors. Hearn into the left back pocket to Duggan, who kicks out of bounds on the full. Not pretty from Liam Duggan. Was under a bit of pressure, but disposal's normally better than that. So Harry Mackay has it. 60 from goal, and he stabs it towards where the 50-metre mark is on the ground to Walsh, who marks. Behind that, Petrevski-Seton collided with an umpire. They're both okay. Nothing doing. So Sam Walsh will be kicking from about 55. Goes out to the right, tries to give himself a little bit extra. The ball will drop short, and Barris punches it over the boundary line for a throw-in. Only about 10 metres to the right of the Blues' goals. At right full forward, boundary umpire to spin it back into play, closing stages of this opening term.
Michael Voss, Carlton coach, has made his way down to the dugout for the closing stages of this quarter. Honey, the rover, and a snap towards goal. It's off hands and through from behind, but nicely worked from Carlton this time at the stoppage. 4-6 plays 1-3. Carlton have equalled their highest scoring first term of the season. 4-6 they kicked against the Giants a few weeks back. 4-6 again today. It'll
be their fourth quarter win, opening quarter win, I should say, of the year for the Blues. The Eagles still only 1-1. West Coast have it in the left back pocket. This is Duggan, has some time to assess the options. Kicks high and long, coming towards the commentary wing. Doesn't quite have that much kick on it. Spills down to Allen, gets it away, and Hunt throws it on the boot. Comes towards Young. He has to turn around and go back to Sard for Carlton, who has it at right half back. He'll take a bounce for the Blues and stab it short towards centre half back.
Really hard for that, Sam Doherty, just to give an option for Adam Sard.
Doherty just inside his defensive 50 at the very top of it. Spreads the ball out towards left half back. Newman to Hollins. Chance to go forward again, Carlton. I'll pop it into the middle of the ground. That wasn't quite what they were hoping for, and Witherden marks. Turnover from Walsh. Witherden for the Eagles. Kicks towards the southern wing. Here's Hearn. Takes a bounce, runs past the logo, heads towards West. Can't quite mark in the right forward pocket. Has support though, hands it off, running it towards goal. O'Neill. The Eagles have got their second. Well done, Xavier O'Neill. West Coast just kept battling away and they cut the Blues lead to 15 points. As we close in on quarter time, 4:6:30 to 2:3:15 on Grandstand AFL on ABC Radio Perth and WA, also on ABC Sport Digital and now streaming on the ABC Listen app. Our experts Shane Woden and Sharad Wellingham.
Good kick from Shannon Hearn, wasn't it? It would have travelled 65 metres across the ground, but also just a really good contest from Connor West. 2v1, ability to not let the ball get punched out of bounds. He got a decent bit of hands on it, didn't he? And then just butted up really well to a running O'Neill.
Kept his feet, which was really important.
And little moments in this first quarter from the Eagles, but Carlton have controlled it and they'll come out the middle. Cripps with the 1-2 with Pitton long towards the Twin Towers. And Mackay leaves it for Charlie Curnow this time, marking virtually directly in front, 20 metres out.
Quick reply.
So Charlie Curnow kicked Carlton's third goal this evening. He's not going to waste much time over this one. He'll kick from 25 metres at the city end. The orange boots flash as he sends this one straight through the middle. And Carlton do get that very quick reply, 5-6-36. They lead West Coast 2-3-15, just seconds remaining in the first term.
Bit of an odd one at that centre bounce because pretty sure Bailey J got clear hands on that.
Did. Just I don't know where Tim Kelly was.
Kelly maybe trying to create some space out the back of himself, and Cripps just had the confidence to plant himself in a really aggressive position at the stoppage.
I think he was trying to hit over the top.
Yeah, and that's what I mean.
Yeah,
just had the confidence to stay there.
I'm going to hold my area.
Melbourne have brought up a half century in the opening term against North Melbourne. They're 8-2-50 to North, one straight 6, so a 44-point lead. 38 minutes gone in that opening term, but time obviously a bit longer than normal. Shocking bounce in the middle because of the injury to Charlie Comden, we suspect is a broken leg as the Eagles look to take it away. Slapping it out was Williams to O'Neill, who was tackled by Doherty, and that is quarter time. 5-6-36 the Blues, 2-3-15 the Eagles. A lead of 21 points to Carlton, and their goal kickers, 2 to Charlie Curnow and 2 to Harry Mackay. They both kicked 5 the last time, 5 each the last time they were here in round 17 last year. They're on their way. Two big forwards for Carlton. Oliver Hollands getting his first goal in AFL football as well. While for West Coast, their goals coming from Alex Witherden and Xavier O'Neill. Quarter time at Perth Stadium, 5-6-36 the Blues. West Coast a 2-3-15. Wherever you're listening on ABC Radio Perth and WA, Sport Digital, and now of course streaming on the ABC Listen app. Look for the AFL Extra button. This is Grandstand AFL.
With the ABC Listen app, you can take the footy with you wherever you go. Off to walk the dog?
Take the footy.
Going camping?
Take the footy.
Picnic in the park?
Take the footy.
ABC Sport's expert coverage of the AFL.
Incredible grab.
And the NRL. Every goal, try, mark and tackle. Live and commercial free.
He bounces it through.
So whatever you're up to,
Take the footy.
take the footy with you on the ABC Listen app.
Grandstand AFL.
Now streaming every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Hollands on his way in, steadies, kicks the goal. One inside 50 for the Blues in the opening 2 minutes. One major on the scoreboard for Carlton.
Big target up in front is Mackay, and he juggles it, claiming it at the second bite. Carlton fans will hold their breath right now. What will he produce? He's virtually directly in front, but he's going to step out and bend it around the corner, and he snuck it home. Short pass finds Jones. Cruising pass with a hand pass is Witherden. He's a beautiful kick of the football, and he's nailed the shot for goal. Alex Witherden's first goal of the season, and the Eagles get some reward for effort.
Well done, Chink Cotter. He'll run towards left half forward, kicks inside the forward 50. Strong hands, Charlie Curnow. 45-degree angle out to the left, kicks on its way. Goal umpire leans back and watches it sail over his hat.
Carlton have turned this over from the kick in Walsh, instead of blazing away from 45 out, stabs it into the pocket, and it's Harry Mackay yet again. 30 metres out, Harry Mackay steps out to the left, starts to bend it back, and he's timed it perfectly.
West can't quite mark in the right forward pocket, has support though, hands it off, running it towards goal. O'Neill. The Eagles have got their second.
Long towards the Twin Towers, and Mackay leaves it for Charlie Curnow this time, marking virtually directly in front, 20 metres out, as he sends this one straight through the middle.
The 2023 AFL season.
On radio,
ABC Sport Digital.
and now streaming on the ABC Listen app.
Saturday night football at Perth Stadium. The games earlier today. Brisbane by 48 points over Freo. GWS won a thriller by a point against the Swans. Toby Green kicking a goal in the most closing of moments to get them over the line. Well, the Western Bulldogs by 29 points against the Hawks. It's just gone quarter time at the MCG. Remember we said it was an extended quarter because of the leg injury to Charlie Comden of North Melbourne. The Demons running away with this. They're up by 44 points. Melbourne 8-2-50 to North 1 straight 6. That's quarter time at the G. Here at Perth Stadium, it's the Blues leading 5-6-36 to 2-3-15. Let's hear from our experts on Grandstand AFL, Shane Woden and Sharad Wellingham.
Well, they dominated the quarter, Sharad, really, didn't they?
Yeah,
From a
with a couple of flashes from West Coast, really, wasn't it?
That was it. A couple of times where they got through in transition and got out the back and kicked a couple of scores. But I think they've dominated possession, Carlton here, and particularly around their midfield. Their mids have got big numbers at the moment. And we spoke about that pre-game, didn't we? With is it going to be effective? I think tonight it is at the moment.
Yeah.
They're only -1 inside 50 West Coast, but certainly not as effective as what Carlton do. They just look dangerous when they go inside 50 with Curnow and Mackay with 2 goals each at the moment. So that's where it is at the moment. 8 marks inside 50. So when they do go forward, they look really effective and dangerous, whereas West Coast probably lack that firepower up front at the moment.
I think that, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure both of West Coast goals were off the back of a fast play where they went in and had to make the most of it. So I don't think that they're going to be able to be too effective if they're slow play off the back of a stoppage or something where Carlton are able to get numbers back and block up that space. I think Lewis took those first 2 intercept marks off the back of the West Coast inside 50s. They just had nothing to go to. Darling had a couple of opportunities to crash a couple of contests and didn't, but in saying that, up the ground he did a couple of really smart things and he was really competitive in the ruck contest. So I think they're going to have to just continue to move the ball fast and try and catch them off guard and get them out the back.
Stats in the first quarter, it's an absolute flogging on the stat sheet in Carlton's favour. 114 disposals to 67. They are plus 43 in uncontested possessions and plus 11 in contested. The marks are 29 to 14 and it's 8 to 1 marks inside 50 in favour of Carlton as well. George Hewitt's had 11 and then 4 players with 10. Walsh, Cripps, Akers and Sard. So all key players at the top end of that stat sheet there for Carlton. While for West Coast, Duggan's had 9 possessions, West 7, Hearn and O'Neill 6 each.
One of the stories into this game was Tom De Koning left out again. He's out of contract at the end of the season. Bad news for the 23-year-old. He suffered a concussion playing in the VFL today, so he won't be available for next Friday's game against Melbourne anyway. But yeah, more bad news for, there's no doubt, a frustrating time for Tom De Koning, and certainly other clubs are circling.
Absolutely.
As you would be.
That talk will happen all year too, won't it?
Until he signs somewhere?
Yeah.
Absolutely it will. And it will continue if you're playing VFL.
Correct.
Ball in the middle. Second quarter underway on Grandstand AFL. The Rucks go at it. Pitnet with the more telling tap, but Williams out after it as it hit the deck. Chera tries to emerge with it. Umpire spotted a free kick going the way of West Coast. It'll come back here to Williams, who elects to play on to Jones, who had nowhere to go, surrounded by 3 Blues. Kicks West Coast towards left half forward. Going past it, Hollands allows Clark to gather. Hand pass to Kelly, who fumbles under pressure from Hewitt. And it's over the boundary line for a throw-in. His back was towards us, so I'm not sure whether he just couldn't take it cleanly, or whether Hewitt was somehow able to get a little hand in there, but that would be frustrating for Tim Kelly. Ball to be thrown in, 55 out from the Eagles attacking goal.
Just one kick for Tim Kelly so far this evening, 11 possessions to his opponent Hewitt, and they have played side by side for virtually the entire match so far. Need a ball up after the boundary throwing, nothing opening up.
Jimby and Cripps for a majority of the day at stoppage at the moment. Cripps with 10, just Jimby with the 1 at the moment. 11.
Throw in right on the 50-metre arc as Chera's slung to ground. The hand pass comes out towards Hewitt. Crowd thought he went out of play. Managed to keep the ball in. A hand pass back to McGovern. Off a step. High kick to the wing. Clever little soccer kick forward by Silvani. Into some space for Mackay to collect. Hand pass to Honey. He just pops it on the boot and kicks across the ground on the bounce to Akers. And they're flaring out in all directions. Akers has spotted up Doherty, who marks on the logo. He is a thumping kick, Sam Doherty, but he won't fire for goal. Instead, he chips in short, and Newman, who also is a wonderful kick of the football, takes the mark 45 out.
He didn't make it from 50 in the first quarter, and he had the run, Newman.
So Nick Newman, 31 games for Sydney. Normally does most of his work in the back half, but this is a set shot for goal from 50 metres. Scoreless so far this season. Number 24 on his back. He winds up and runs out to the left a little. The kick is on target. Has it caught the carry? There's no doubt about it. And he loves it. Bit of a high knee celebration with the arms raised, and Carlton have the first of the second quarter. Their lead is out to 27 points at 6-6-42 to 2-3-15 after just 2 minutes of the second term.
Backs do like to celebrate when they're able to get forward and pinch one. It was a beautiful kick though. He did wheel around really nicely, but it was a fast transition from that stoppage, wasn't it? And Carlton were just flowing all the way through the middle to the open side. Good work rate from all of them.
Just forced West Coast to defend, didn't they? Clever kick by Curnow, just to kick it laterally to Akers, just to give their forwards enough time to reset and get inside 50 and provide options.
They do love a goal. He's first for the season, Nick Newman. If you have to play down back, the Eagles get the clearance through Kelly towards centre half forward. It's off hands. West attacks the football, knocked it away from Hollands, trying to get there. Sard. West picks it up, went straight into his teammate in Gaff. Hewitt's able to get a hand pass out there on the ground. Hollands running to the back of an Eagle, moved it towards centre wing out of side. Hearn gives it to Gaff, back to Hearn, kicks towards left half forward, carries over the pack that was waiting for it and goes across the boundary line for a throw-in. Messy bit of play. On the text line, Josh is saying, what are the rules on away teams and clash jerseys? Other than shorts, Carlton have got their home colours on and they're fairly similar to West Coast. Thrown back in, Pitternet wins it down. Thrown on the boot by Pitternet. Trying to work it towards the logo, out of side. From the deck, Witherden trying to hand pass to Jones, who's been pinged. Caught holding the ball, wrapped up in a really good tackle by Cripps. And Cripps will move it short to find Chera, who marks just forward of the wing on the southern side.
Brings it inside with a kick to Hollands. Kick the first goal tonight. Little short pass, gets it towards half forward. Hewitt again. Leading possession winner on the ground. This will be his 14th disposal. High kick towards the pocket. Charlie Curnow from a long way back. Takes a wonderful grab. That is mark number 11 inside 50 tonight for Carlton. And all 6 of their goals have come from set shots following a mark so far.
He's taking that 6 deep.
And again, just no body on him. Just had a free run from probably 8 metres, 10 metres away from the contest. And the guy who's nearly 2 metres tall and 98 kilos, I'd imagine, can't give him that kind of free rein.
Doesn't have a great record against the Eagles, but did kick 5 last time against West Coast, and he's got 3 already this evening, and we're only 5 minutes into the second term. 7-6-48 Carlton. West Coast to 2-3-15. Listening to Grandstand AFL, Sharad Wellingham and Shane Woden are your experts.
We're seeing a bag tonight, aren't we? It's potentially happening. But again, just lost contact. Rotham wasn't really aggressive with him, not even physically hitting him, just to try and stop him, make it a hard night for him. You're allowed to be aggressive rather than just trying to hold
To Josh's question, not enough of a clash between these two jumpers. The AFL have to approve whatever jumpers are being worn in every clash. So football has to tick off on it. You can have as many different jumpers as you want throughout the season if they're all approved by the head of football. How's that for a random fact? You have a different one every week if the head of football said it was okay. As the Eagles win the clearance, they're able to move it towards centre wing from the restart. This is Edwards moving it back towards Kelly. Hands off to the run of Hearn. To the logo, commentary side. Hands it on to Witherden. Takes a bounce. Goes into space at right half forward. Puts it into the right forward pocket. Up was Allen from the side. Punched by Wiedering. About 10 rows back into the pocket. Made absolutely sure that was sailing over. We'll have a throw-in. Right forward pocket for West Coast, who trail by 33. If you'd like to get in touch, 0437 774 774 is our text number. Darling, beautiful tap. West might have been tackled without it by Sard. Umpire says play on. Kelly goes back by hand. Still there to be won. In fact, it was knocked back to Kelly, who picks it up, throws it on the boot. He wants Dallin. Clever punch away by Young. Can see it over the boundary line for a throw-in. This time in the left forward pocket. No change to that score. 6 and a bit minutes gone in the second. Carlton 7-6-48. The Eagles 2-3-15. Grandstand AFL on ABC Perth and WA and ABC Sport Digital. Here's Dave Lindsay.
The Eagles will probably look most dangerous inside attacking 50 with Jack Darling in the ruck at boundary throw-ins. He can't quite get his finger to this one and he goes to ground. Here's Kemp under pressure, gets a hand pass away towards his defensive goal. Next man in line is Akers. He turns it over. Hand pass to Waterman, decides to palm it down to Edwards. Tries to step through the traffic, got it to Cully. Off to O'Neill. And O'Neill's got 2. Sharp football from West Coast. Some quick hands there. And O'Neill with a couple of goals. 7.5 minutes gone in the second quarter. West Coast have their third. They're 3-3-21. Carlton are 7-6. That's 48.
It was just great pressure on every Carlton player, wasn't it? It was nothing clean, but the pressure on the Carlton defenders gave them nothing to kick out. The defensive setup from the West Coast defenders behind the ball just gave them nothing to look at. Rushed, pressure, some composure in the bit of play there, but I think it was Edwards, and really nice finish from O'Neill once again.
Cully
pressure though, wasn't it?
Yeah, Cully, couple of efforts, got back into play. He's composing traffic, Cully.
He also looks really big, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a big boy.
He is. He is a big boy. And he'll get bigger too with a few more AFL pre-seasons under his belt as the Eagles get the clearance once more, but the hand pass was in the back of Chera from Williams, not what he was hoping for. Locked in. Now, I know I get sometimes people criticise me for looking at things that don't matter, but have a look at Chera's boots if you're at the ground tonight. He's got a different coloured boot on his left and his right foot. The left is a light green with a pink stripe, and the right is a pink with a little green stripe. Fascinating. Free kick for the Blues. Cripps gives it to Sard. Inside forward 50. Oh, dear. Oh, 2 Eagles collide. Rotham alongside Hearn. Hearn has taken the mark. He's been absolutely crunched. Turno involved in that collision. You can hear the oohs and ahs on the big screen as we see the replay. That's absolute courage. As Hearn moves it into the right back pocket.
It's a good mark.
Oh, great mark from Hearn. Huge courage. As the Eagles through Edwards, now to Kelly. Kicks towards the logo, commentary wing, won by Sard here. Newman under pressure, turns it over, bouncing in front of Edwards. Good pressure coming, taken to ground by Akers in a tackle. It'll be a ball up on centre wing. What about the cheer from the crowd when they saw it again on the big screen? Hearn, tremendous ticker to take that mark with Curnow right with him.
Game 325 tonight for Shannon Hearn. No one in the AFL's ever played more games than the number 25. As the Eagles work it forward from the stoppage, but again Sard in the way. Such an important cog in this Carlton defence. Kicks laterally to Young and then cruises by to receive the hand pass and chips it to between centre half back and centre, where Newman takes the mark. Called to play on. Not much on offer up the ground. So he squeezes a kick out to right half back to Wiedering, who goes straight back to Newman. Looking to shift the Eagles' defensive zone. Newman up the middle. Dangerous kick. Petruccelli slides in front of Chincotta to take the mark, and now the Eagles should move it quickly. They do, but they waste it. McGovern drops a mark he should have taken, but there's plenty of blue jumpers around. That's the Carlton blue jumpers, and it's Newman who kicks to Akers. who's enjoying a return to Perth Stadium.
The old dark navy blue as opposed to the royal blue. The kick comes towards the commentary wing. The hand pass away, Durden to Chera, who turns it straight over. Marked by Duggan, who's at right half back for, rather Rothen, who is at right half back for the West Coast Eagles. Rothen from beyond defensive 50 comes back towards the commentary wing. Allen attacks the football, couldn't take the mark, spills down. Young hand passes backwards. Akers got tackled. Jinby got him. Ball spilled free. Jinby to Allen, now to Kelly for the Eagles. Slick hand passing now to Petruccelli. Races away towards right half forward. Kicks the full forward up into the air. Pedreski-Seaton can't mark. Spills down to Darling. Kicks around the body. Misses. Bouncing it through for a behind to the right. But West Coast, their supporters as one. They rose as they saw that passage of play down the commentary wing. 3-4-22 the Eagles, 7-6-48 the Blues, 12 gone in the second.
Tim Kelly starting to get to work now. Up to 8 possessions, that's 7 this quarter.
Sard with the kick in, runs out of the square and almost trucks on the boundary line. Finds Kelly off hands, who's tackled and thrown to ground. Cripps now, a hand pass to Akers. His hand pass goes nowhere. Walsh with the hard ball, knocked to ground and a solid bump by Duggan. And then almost appeared to throw it out with the right hand. Eagles' pressure up forward's been very good. Darling with a hand pass out wide. Can't quite connect with Edwards. Head down over the footy is Newman. He's tackled high. Now he clearly drove with the head there. Very lucky to get the free kick.
Not only drove with his head, but turned into the oncoming traffic as well.
Switches play with the kick towards the back pocket. The mark has been taken by Young. Called a play on. He barely took a step. Wiedering there to support. Chips it to Chera. In those two-tone boots, he kicks back to Akers, back on this broadcast side wing.
Akers, short to Kemp, marking in front of the interchange gates. Pops it over the top. Amazing a passage of play just like that can galvanise the support around the ground. They're right into this now, the Eagles fans. Doherty inside forward 50. Bruno crashes towards it, can't take the mark. It spills over the line for a boundary throwing right near where Akash Fodadar is. Akash.
Xavier O'Neill came to the bench looking quite sore and he's just headed down to the rooms with the team doctor.
Wonder what Eagles fans are thinking. 0437 774 774. Tell us how you're feeling at the moment, the stage of the game. As Kelly wins it again from the restart. Jones's kick was well smothered. Diving out to get it was Fisher. Spilled across half forward. Good tackle, Petreski-Seaton. It's going to be held in. Blues, for a moment, thought they might have been in trouble. Cincotta was the player who was tackled. It'll be thrown up instead. One down by Carlton. Jinby put his head over the football. Jarred free. Pressure came from Cripps. Still to be locked inside. Forward 50 for West Coast.
Change gears, West
Coast.
Coast.
It up.
They have, haven't they? Pressure's gone up. Tackling's gone up.
Carlton by 26.
Thrown in the air. Waterman over the top of Young. Gets his fingertips to it. Gaff, the recipient, kicks towards the safety of the boundary. Getting there first, though, was Newman. His hand pass was an awkward bouncing one for Kemp to handle. Tries to soccer it forward. Walsh knocked off the footy. Good tackle now on Kemp, who picks up the loose ball. Chance for Petruccelli. He's dispossessed. Now Edwards. It's all in a phone booth at half back. Jinby with a hurried kick, but straight to Chera. He spotted the open player on the far wing. Bounces a kick towards Ed Curnow. Has Mackay hitting up on the lead. That's ignored. Ed Curnow has a bounce. Spots his brother deeper. The direction the kick goes. He flies, can't mark. Cripps waiting down. Hand pass away to Fisher. And he'll snap into the goalpost. It was beautifully worked by Cripps. But Fisher couldn't finish. Another behind for him. And Carlton moved to 7-7-49 West Coast. A 3-4-22 midway through the second quarter.
Former Perth Football Club product, like Sharad Willingham was. The ball over the boundary line for a throw-in at left half back. Demons going down today in the WAFL to Wowies Sharks.
Again.
Don't be like that, Wowie. We'll be good one day, I swear. Throwing back in again. Waterman doing the ruck work against Young. Young with more telling tap, but it was down towards Gaff. Kick towards the outer side of the ground. Cincotta had it for the Blues. Quick hand pass. They move it through Kemp. And now it's back to Chera. Chera forced to backtrack. Pressure came from Petreski-Seaton. The Eagles' pressure has been great. But somehow he finds a way through. And Doherty's able to mark the kick on centre wing. Now it's with Cripps, just shy of right half forward. He got around Clark and then kicks inside the attacking 50 with it and saw it. Spoil came from the side from Honey. Spilled down though for the Eagles and a chance to clear. Here's Hunt towards centre half back. Allen can't take it cleanly. Battle on right now. Umpire will circle and he'll ball it up. Still he gives. Play on.
Popped out.
It did pop out the side. Now we'll ball it up. It was there for a second.
Yeah, the whistle to the mouth, didn't he?
He did, didn't he? I thought he's going, oh no, play on again. 16 gone in the second term. The Blues are 7-7-49. The Eagles 3-4-22. Grandstand AFL from Perth Stadium.
Cripps and Chera now at the top of the stat sheet with 16 possessions each. As Edwards gets the kick away from the stoppage. Mark taken though by Chincotta. Little short pass, gets it to Chera. Lays it off by hand to Newman, gets it in deep dirt, and the small man at the back becomes the target. Recovers well, snaps on goal, but diving on the goal line. Getting his fingertip to it is Rotham. It'll be a behind only. The margin out to a 28-point buffer for Carlton. Nearly 17 minutes gone here in the second quarter.
Great effort from Rotham. The Eagles towards the commentary wing. Darling worked his opponent, Kemp out from underneath it. Came there to Wiedering, moved it to Newman. Stabs it short to Fisher for the Blues. Between centre wing and left half forward. Ginby stands on the mark. 28 points the Blues lead. The kicks towards centre half forward. Doherty waited, punched forward by Duggan. Spills into the middle of the ground. Players swarm over the top of it.
Work Duggan.
Trying to climb up. Cully last man there. I'll look to ball it up. Inside the centre square. Tap one down by Young. Jimmy though read it well. Got it off to Clark. Kicks the Eagles inside forward 50. McGovern up against Williams. Bounce favoured McGovern. Got the kick away. Williams bumped him over well after the ball was gone. That was silly. It was a free kick. I'll try to take the advantage as Ed Curnow hands it off to Hollins for the Blues and he kicks towards the southern wing.
Leaping is the little man Durden again. Ball clears his head. Mackay at the back does nicely. Hands it away to the runner in Walsh. He carries it to about 60 out. Stabs it in looking for Charlie Curnow on the lead but getting in the way. Taking a very nice intercept mark is Hunt. Hunt then chips a kick towards the left back pocket for Waterman. Next pass is important towards the wing. Gaff can't hold on under pressure from Hollins. Hollins gets the footy, gives it back towards Ed Curnow. He's tackled from behind, pops out towards Hollins once more. Hand pass inside was intercepted. Nothing clean at the moment. Cripps almost throws it out. He does throw it. Good pressure again from West Coast in the middle of the ground. Gaff this time with the tackle. Plays on with a hand pass towards the dasher who sends it long. That was interesting footy there by Jermaine Jones, but he got it to half forward. Williams works it back along the ground towards Clark, who overruns the football. He's pinned in a good tackle from McGovern. And McGovern will get the free kick this time. Right half back for Carlton. The Blues up by 28 points, approaching time on.
I'd love to see West Coast go into a little bit of control. Game has been picking up and back for a little while now.
And I think that was what Matty Knights was alluding to this morning, just recognising when they can switch gears and maybe maintain possession for a little bit.
Carlton controlling the football right now as they came up the middle and now work it towards left half back. Here's a hand pass to Doherty. Stabs it forward. This is Chera. Could have gone, if he wanted to the runner Chincotta. Decides not to. Stands between the centre circles and the commentary edge of the centre square. Will now get told to move it on. Kicks Carlton towards centre half forward. Walsh got away from his opponent. Leaps up to take the mark. And sends it into the right forward pocket. He wants Charlie Curnow and he marks hard up against the boundary. He'll have it 40 from goal. Can have a shot from just inside 50. He'll start from beyond the boundary.
He just works so hard for the kicker, Carlton, tonight. When they do go into control, just 20, 25 metre passes. Build it up the ground, and then when the one's right to go inside 50, they go.
Marks inside 50 are telling. Carlton 12, West Coast 1. Charlie Curnow looking for his fourth. It's a tight angle. Oh my goodness, that's a wonderful goal. He can do everything, this young man, this young, tall man. Coleman medalist, twice a leading goal kicker and All-Australian. He can kick them from everywhere. He's got 4, the Blues have got 8. 8-8-56 to the Eagles, 3-4-22 as we head into time on in the second term. Big g'day to Daphne listening in from Tahiti. G'day, Daphne, good to have you. We've got listeners everywhere. Go the Blues. Thanks for broadcasting the game. I can't watch it here in Tahiti and French Polynesia. Daphne, glad you're with us here on Grandstand AFL. Your Blues are up and about. Our experts, Shane Woden and Sharad Wellingham.
Yes, they certainly are up and about. Getting their hands on it around the ball. And having some damaging impact inside 50, as you said, Clint. 12th mark inside 50 tonight.
And when they are going in, it's clean and precise, isn't it?
They're uncontested, aren't they, really? It's been a couple of contested ones, but of late.
It's going to be a 6-6-6 warning here to Carlton. They're still trying to sort out who's going to start in which positions, which allows us a bit of time to go down to a cash on the boundary.
Yeah, Xavier O'Neill's come out from the room. Seems okay. He's just come back on the ground as well.
It's actually an argument between two players on the wing deciding who was going to play wing and who would play half forward for Carlton. No damage done.
Had a great call in the Sunday footy for him last week.
I think I heard that one.
Why are they still giving warnings? If you haven't sorted out 6-6-6 by now, surely.
There's too much room for error.
No, just get it right.
Secondary ball up, and still it's a tough footy to be won. Chera gets his head over it, tries to work his through the traffic. He's caught eventually, and it's holding the ball.
West Coast have gone manic, haven't they? They are putting an amount of pressure on the ball carrier that we haven't seen for a while.
Free kick was to Hunt. Jones runs away with the footy. Off to Edwards. Now O'Neill. Down the line he goes, and running hard Gaff gets there just almost right on the boundary line, 48 metres out.
Just got to get it right outside the contest now, don't they? Better be effective, be efficient.
Now Gaff's got to kick this pretty much from the players' race for the visiting teams here at Perth Stadium. He won't set sail for home. 51 out. Pops it to the top of the goal square. Kemp was up in front for Carlton. Can't take the mark. The Eagles gained possession. It's O'Neill who's tackled. First time in his career he's kicked more than one goal. He's got 2 tonight. So a career best for him as we'll get a ball up again. Sard gets the clearance, but it goes straight up in the air. Chera again gains possession, but he's immediately tackled. And we'll get a ball up. 20 metres out, right forward pocket, City end. Carlton by 34 points.
Umpire throws it aloft. Pitternet with the telling tap. Gets it to ground. The Eagles will pile in here to lock it in. Another ball up. Ollie's listening in from Pingerup here in WA. I'm on the sprayer, he says. Hoping for the best that his beloved Eagles can get up. Pitternet wins the tap down for the Blues. It'll spill around again, and Kemp can get a clearing kick into the right back pocket. He's able to find Fisher. He marks for Carlton. Assesses the options, allows players to run forward, and then finds one. Curnow. That's Ed sliding onto his knees to affect the mark. Hard up against the boundary at right half back. He could go towards centre half back if he wants. He'll take the more conventional option and put it down the wing. Trying to fly it. It's Charlie Curnow. Couldn't get there. Hearn gets a hand pass away for West Coast. It's a Hunt. They move it on quickly. West Coast towards left half forward. Not a great kick. Under a little bit of pressure there as Duggan getting it from Foley, and Duggan puts it out of bounds. It's on the bounce. So a throw-in left half forward for West Coast. The Blues lead on the scoreboard by 24. 8-8-56 Carlton. 3-4-22. That's the Eagles here on Grandstand AFL. 24 gone, as I said, in the second.
Williams gives a shove to Pitternet. Touch clean possession. His kick, though, was touched in flight. Waterman had it for a moment and lost it. Then the cavalry arrived. There'll be a ball up 30 metres out directly in front of the West Coast goal.
Not going to score, just keep getting repeat stoppages. Give your defenders a rest here now, West Coast.
Pitternet has Darling for company this time. Neither touched the footy. Petruccelli coming through, leaves it behind. O'Neill over it once more. Here's Hewitt, working hard, almost lying on the ground. He gets a hand pass out. Duggan gets his body in front of Doherty. They've got it outside defensive 50 here, Carlton. They'll go further ahead with a little soccer kick. Ed Curnow has Hunt wrapping him up in a very good tackle yet again, and it'll be rewarded once more. Had one arm pinned, the other ball was in the free hand, and Curnow could do nothing with the football. So Hunt gets the free kick again, southern side wing. He's looking ahead of the play. There's a huge pack of players in the pocket. That's the direction he goes. Cully, the big leaper from behind, brings it to ground. Petruccelli immediately tackled. And he won't be penalised this time. We'll get a ball up. 35 out left forward pocket, City end. West Coast doing all the attacking in the last couple of minutes. They love a goal from this effort.
Thrown aloft. Comes out the side. Cully was monstered. 3 Blues surrounding him. Sard was one. Chincotta another.
I'd like to see him get a run on ball in the second half, Cully. He's only touched it twice. Yeah, he kicked 4 last week, but just get him up and into the game.
Wiedering tried to get a clearing kick. It spilled towards Petricelli immediately from the left forward pocket. He kicked towards goal. No mark taken. Waterman out after it. Kemp's done well. Was able to work it away to Akers. Kicked around the body. Beyond defensive 50. It bounced to left half back for the Blues. Here trying to pick it up. And under pressure, Foley. He was tackled. Ed Curnow emerges with it. Chance to go back to Durden. To Akers for the Blues. That's a lovely kick. In towards Chera, who marks and plays on. Silvani in space. Inside forward 50. Gathers. Snaps. Bounced it through. The Eagles immediately appealing that they touched. They want to see if it'll be sent upstairs with it, and the moment the kick came off the boot of Silvani from 30 out, appealed that he'd got a touch on it. Let's see what the replays show us.
There's officials out on the other side too.
No. I'm not sure we can tell anything from that one. We'll need the slightly closer angle, the reverse angle as well. Here it comes. Silvani gathers. It's hard to see at that pace if it's touched anything. Soft call, I think, was a goal. Now, and again, the other angle doesn't really help either.
Just guessing, I reckon.
Yeah, you can't make a change on any of those. This will be a goal. It's back in the middle. We're underway. 9-8-62 to 3-4-22. Carlton in front. 27 gone in the second.
So Silvani becoming Carlton's 5th goal kicker of the evening.
It's good movement, wasn't it? It's a great kick by Blake Akers to hit Chera.
And they saved a goal at one end, and in that same chain, finished up with a goal in their attacking 50. Petrevsky-Seton, the ex-blue, dragged to ground in a strong tackle. Chincotta picks up the footy, and then he's dumped to ground by Petrevsky-Seton, and that will be the free kick for the dangerous tackle.
Yeah, he'll get cited for that.
He was on his knees anyway, but certainly dragged him to ground quite heavily, and Chincotta, the bright orange boots, gets up to take the free kick. He decides to hand pass it to Doherty. He was going to attack down the left wing, decide to switch play quickly. Finds Wiedering. Next kick goes to Hollands, southern side wing, towards the Farmer Freeway end. The Blues unbeaten in second quarters this season. They'll keep that record perfect with this term as well. The long kick towards half forward, off hands, out of play. Boundary throw in pretty much where the 50-metre arc meets the boundary line. 28 minutes into the second quarter. Just a minute or so of play remaining in the term with the Blues up by 40.
Ball back into play. Both rucks missed it. Spilled down. And kick forward. Doherty's able to work it to Fisher, who's able to mark in the right forward pocket.
Uncontested.
Just snuck forward from the stoppage.
It's almost like, how did he bob up there?
Called ball watching, West Coast.
Zach Fisher. Hard up against the boundary. Charlie Curnow kicked one from here a short time ago. This goes across the face. It's kept in though. All players surround it, trying to get a hand pass out. Cripps has done well to Akers. Sends it back to Walsh. Back to Hewitt. Cully got him. Good tackle. That's going to be holding the ball. Had Pryor. Cully wrapped him up. And he continues to impress. Jai Cully sends it to Witherden in the right back pocket. 29 gone in the second term. Carlton's leads 40 points.
The Blues just popping the hand pass around looking for the perfect shot when they just needed someone to pull the trigger. Oscar Allen now attacking the footy close to half back. Takes it over the line. We'll get a boundary throw in, but I don't think the Rucks are even going to get a chance to touch it. It'll be half time. It's been a dominant performance from the Blues, responding after consecutive defeats. They've got a big set of 6 games to come with the Lions, the Bulldogs, Collingwood, Sydney, Melbourne and Essendon in the next month and a bit. So tonight is an absolute non-negotiable for them. And so far, so good for the visitors. 9-8-62 Carlton. They lead West Coast, who are 3-4-22. It's the Blues by 40 points at halftime.
The goal kickers, Charlie Curnow's got 4 of them. Harry Mackay with a couple as well. And you can chuck in Nick Newman, Oliver Hollands and Jack Silvani for the Carlton Football Club. While for the West Coast Eagles, they're 3 goals. Xavier O'Neill with 2, career high for him. Alex Witherden with 1. Need to update you on the other score. It's so lopsided we don't really get to it all that often, but 28 minutes gone in that second term at the MCG. The Demons lead is now 60 points, 12-3-75 to North Melbourne 2-3-15. So the Demons by 60 points. And as we just have a very quick look at some of the stats, the leading goal kickers across there, Bailey Fritsch with 3, Ozzie Pickett's got 2, Chandler with 2 as well. Here at Perth Stadium, it's the Blues by 40 points against the West Coast Eagles. Let's get the thoughts of our experts Shane Woden and Sharad Wellingham.
Super impressed from a effort perspective from West Coast there. I think that while they only scored the 1 goal that quarter, it was much better on a whole in terms of the effort and willingness to smash in and make it hard for Carlton. Carlton obviously were able to score 4 for the quarter, was it? And still break away and get those goals, a couple of inside 50 marks uncontested. But I didn't feel like they had as much control and ability to move the ball as easily as they did in that first quarter. And that, like we said pre-game, we know what we're coming up with from a West Coast point of view. But a Carlton point of view, I think that they got held up pretty well. So they're going to walk away going, all right, we probably lifted the intensity notch a little bit. Can we continue to stay with them and not let them run away from us? So from a Carlton point of view, they've just got to really bunker down and make sure that they continue to be efficient and effective with their inside 50s and not let the pressure, I suppose, come to them.
Yeah, I think West Coast, you're right. Inside, competing, on the outside, getting done. Just can't compete
is that a result of how much effort they're having to put on side?
Yeah, probably through fatigue. They're bashing and crashing and doing all the hard work, but then the ability to run with the opposition on the outside and in transition defensively, even offensively not effective enough. But just struggling on the outside, just can't find the footy. I think it was 35 to 13 marks inside that second term. Plus 22, 30, 40, plus a lot in possession. So, I said okay inside, poor on the outside, just not as effective when they do go forward as what the opposition are at the moment. So, and that's just experience too at times. I like to see the magnets get flipped a little bit. I'd love to see Cully go inside. I'd love to get Jimby out, get Cully onto Cripps, see what he can do, get Jimby to half back, just throw it around a bit, maybe get Foley on ball, just to provide a bit more run and sustained effort rather than the same thing all the time. Get Clark on ball, give him a go, rather than being on the outside. He's Subiaco, he's a midfielder, so get him on the inside.
Do you think that they should pull the trigger on bringing Rhett Bazzo on?
Oh, I think so.
I don't think that it's going to do any harm.
No.
We've seen Rotham tries absolutely hard out against him, but I just don't think he's got the strength or length in his arms and ability to get around a contest. There was also a couple of times where, and this isn't a knock on him, where he's just not really switched on when he's not in ball mode, and Curno's been able to just run at a contest, and even if he doesn't mark it, he's able to create a contest, whereas if he puts a body on him 15, 20 metres away from the ball, it's going to be a West Coast mark. And that's where you see the guys like Jeremy McGovern and Tommy Barras and Shannon Hearn, they work so well because they will put that little check on which doesn't allow the forward to get to the contest, and then those intercept marks just become available to the West Coast defenders. I've been super impressed with Williams again. I'm not sure on the raw stats, but I think that his competitiveness around the contest has been clear again. Pitnet has obviously been getting his hands to the ball. If you can bring up the
hit outs. He's had 22 Pitnet, and he's only had the 8 Williams, but that's okay. That's going to happen because Pitnet's massive.
Yeah, but I think that his ability around the contest has been really good. Again, he's had the 4 clearances.
It's growing,
just growing into the role, and each week, if he can continue to improve, it's another big tick.
O'Neill's been better.
The Hewitt half was pretty impressive. I know that Kelly got on the end of a couple of kicks out. I think he's had 10 touches that quarter, so got off the chain a little bit, but Hewitt's been damaging on his own right with 18 touches. So as a contest, you probably give the tick of approval to Hewitt.
Oh, at this stage, definitely. Just those Carlton mids, probably more hands. They're not really damaging by foot, are they? Probably Chera and Walsh are the kickers, where Cripps and Hewitt are more the hands in tight to release the kickers to get them out and be more damaging. That's probably why. Like Cripps has had 17, but he's had 14 handballs and only 100 metres gained, so hasn't been as effective as and damaging as what, maybe if you kicked a bit more. So it's a good learning curve for Jimby. He's still learning his craft, but he's not a midfielder just yet, so that's going to take some time.
Thoughts of Shane Woden and Sharad Willingham. Downstairs, Akash Fodadar's got a bit of news for us, Akash.
Thanks, Clint. Yeah, just as the Eagles were about to head down the race at half-time, all the coaches and support staff sort of went down the tunnel, but Oscar Allen actually pulled the whole group in just here on the boundary line in front of the race, and for a good couple of minutes appeared to be giving them a fairly animated rev-up. There was a fair bit of pointing to certain parts of the field, and he looked quite fired up as he pulled the group in and then led them down the race.
A lot of talk. Oscar Allen might be the next captain of the West Coast Eagles. He's certainly in the mix as we wonder about Luke Shuey's future. On the way, just before we depart to the newsroom, just want to give mention to Food Bank WA. If you're in the ground tonight, West Coast are partnering with Food Bank WA as part of a Million Meals Challenge to try and raise money for struggling WA families. You can donate tonight if you're at the ground, or of course you could also go to the club website. So they're a very worthy charity, Food Bank, and I know ABC Perth and WA have had a fair bit to do with them as well. So hopefully they can raise a lot of money for struggling families in our community. Repeating half-time, 9-8-62 the Blues, while for the West Coast Eagles, they're 3-4-22. Love to hear from you. If you want to get in touch, send us a text now. We'll have a chat after the news. 0437 774 774. 0437 774 774. Listeners in Tahiti. I wonder where else people are listening in to the Eagles and Carlton. Let's pause, though, and get the latest from the ABC Newsroom.
ABC News with David Rowlands. The federal Greens have flagged legislation to freeze rent prices for 2 years and allow the government to stop the Reserve Bank from raising interest rates. The Greens' proposal would mean that states that agree to implement rental freezes for 2 years and cap increases after that would become eligible to double their housing funding from the Commonwealth. It would also strengthen the existing powers of the Treasurer to overrule the independent RBA and freeze interest rates. It comes after Prime Minister Anthony Albanese announced National Cabinet had agreed to examine protections for renters across the country. The Tasmanian Premier, Jeremy Rockliff, says a purpose-built stadium on Hobart's Macquarie Point is set to deliver the state its own club in the AFL competition. Mr Rockliff and the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, this morning announced Tasmania will receive $240 million in next month's federal budget towards the stadium on the Hobart waterfront. The arena is required for the AFL to deliver Tasmania its own AFL team and 19th licence in the competition. Mr Rockliff says the stadium and the surrounding precinct will be a major attraction.
That all Tasmanians can be truly proud of. And it can deliver, absolutely, that long-held, decades-old dream of having our own team singing our own song in our own colours.
Russian officials have confirmed an oil facility is ablaze in the port city of Sevastopol in Russian-occupied Crimea following a suspected drone strike. More from the BBC's Hugo Bachega in Ukraine.
Dozens of firefighters are at the scene in Kozacha Bay to bring the massive blaze under control. No one has been injured. The fire happens 5 days after Russian officials said they had fended off a drone attack by the Ukrainian military in the same area. Crimea has come under repeated attacks since the start of the war. This is the peninsula that Russia annexed in 2014 and that Ukraine has vowed to retake. In the town of Uman, search and rescue efforts continue at a block of flats, a day after it was hit by a Russian missile. 23 people were killed, including 4 children.
An extended ceasefire in Sudan appears to have broken down, with heavy fighting reported. Clashes between rival military factions have killed more than 500 people and wounded another 2,000 over the past fortnight. The World Health Organisation's Regional Emergency Director, Dr Richard Brennan, says the fighting has had a big impact on the country's health services.
It's been extremely difficult to resupply the hospitals and clinics. We've been able to confirm at least 28 attacks on healthcare. Military forces now are occupying a couple of hospitals. They're now occupying the Central Public Health Laboratory.
Two people have appeared in Perth Magistrates Court this morning facing charges relating to a security scare at Woodside's annual general meeting. Authorities say suspicious gas canisters were seized near where the AGM was taking place in Perth yesterday. The discovery sparked the involvement of the State Security Investigation Group and the arrest of two men and a woman. A 34-year-old woman and a 31-year-old man have been charged with aggravated burglary with intent on place. The third man has been released pending further investigation. Local religious leaders in Indonesia say an Australian man has spat on an imam at a mosque in Bandung on the main island of Java. Indonesia correspondent Ann Barker has more on this story.
Islamic leaders at the Jami al-Muhajir Mosque in Bandung say a foreigner entered around 6 a.m. yesterday and approached the imam at the pulpit, who was listening to verses from the Quran being read over a loudspeaker. They say he was caught on CCTV vision. Suddenly, he was seen spitting right into the imam's face while swearing loudly. The imam immediately fled and later said the man was apparently disturbed by the noise of the chanting. He says the man had been staying at a hotel nearby, but when they checked later, he'd gone. Ann Barker, ABC News, Jakarta.
A budget airline flight from Sydney to Singapore has been diverted to Adelaide. Flight TR3, operated by Scoot, left Sydney Airport at 1:30 this afternoon. Passengers on board told ABC News the pilot said the plane had to be grounded in Adelaide. To sport, and Sydney FC has set up an A-League men's elimination final against Western Sydney Wanderers with a 2-0 victory over Newcastle. The Sky Blues finished fifth on the ladder thanks to the win, which came via goals from Adam Lafondra and Patrick Wood. Wellington also secured finals football with a 1-0 defeat at Macarthur. The Phoenix will meet Adelaide in the first week of the finals.
For extreme entertainment,
Let's do it.
Stream comedy whenever you like on ABC iView.
Oh, nice one.
Extreme feel-goods with Summer Love and Fisk.
Oh, I'm having a greengasm.
Extreme funnies from Superwog and Peep Show.
You, my friend, are a stone-cold maniac.
And extreme good times with Braid and Starstruck.
And let's get ready for some fun.
It's Extreme Comedy Gold.
I know.
And you can stream it all for free on ABC iView. Grandstand AFL.
Now streaming every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Newman, number 24 in his back. He winds up and runs out to the left a little. The kick is on target. Has it got the carry? There's no doubt about it. And he loves it. High kick towards the pocket. Charlie Curnow from a long way back. And we're only 5 minutes into the second term. Hand pass to Waterman. Decides to palm it down to Edwards. Tries to step through the traffic. Got it to Cully. On to O'Neill. And O'Neill's got two.
Free kick for the Blues. Cripps gives it to Sard. Inside 450. Oh, dear. Oh, two Eagles collide. Rotherham alongside Hearn. Hearn has taken the mark. He's been absolutely crunched. Curnow involved in that collision. You can hear the oohs and ahs on the big screen as we see the replay. That's absolute courage. Walsh got away from his opponent. Leaps up to take the mark. Sends it into the right forward pocket. He wants Charlie Curnow and he marks hard up against the boundary. Looking for his fourth. It's a tight angle. Oh my goodness, that's a wonderful goal. Chera, who marks and plays on. Silvani in space. Inside forward 50. Gathers, snaps, bounces it through.
The 2023 AFL season.
On radio,
ABC Sport Digital.
and now streaming on the ABC Listen app.
Believe it or not, we've got the close one. Carlton 9-8-62 to the Eagles 3-4-22. I say that because at the MCG at half-time, it's the Demons by 66 points over North Melbourne, 13-3. 13-3. 81 Melbourne to 2-3-15 North Melbourne. Quite remarkable. Cozzy Pickett's got 3, Bailey Fritsch has got 3, Cade Chandler's got 2, the multiple goal kickers for the Demons. In other games, earlier today, Brisbane by 48 points over the Dockers. GWS beat the Swans by 1 in the Sydney Derby. And the Bulldogs by 29 points against the Hawks. Clint Wilden with you alongside Dave Lindsay, who's got all the stats for us. G'day, Dave.
Some big numbers, Clint, for Carlton tonight. 229 disposals to 145. They are plus 50 in kicks, plus 34 in handballs. The uncontested possessions are 151 to 75. So Carlton double the Eagles in uncontested possessions. They also are leading contested possessions by 12 as well. The marks are 64 to 27, and marks inside 50 are 13 to 2. And Carlton have had 6 extra inside 50s as well. The top 10 players on the stat sheet are all wearing a Carlton jumper here this evening. Chera, 19 possessions, 11 kicks and 8 hand passes. Hewitt's had 18 touches. Newman, 18 as well. 15 kicks and 3 handballs for Newman. Cripps with 17 possessions. Only 3 of those have been kicks. Akers also 17 possessions. Sard, 16 and Walsh, 15. While for West Coast, their leaders are Hearn, Kelly and O'Neill with 11 possessions each. Don't forget Tim Kelly only had 1 kick in the first quarter, so 10 possessions in the second term for Kelly. 7 tackles for the game as well. And we should also mention Xavier O'Neill's 2 goals to go with his 11 possessions also. Duggan, Hunt, Gaff and Edwards, 10 touches each.
Our text line 0437 774 774. If you'd like to say hello, ask a question, make a comment. The West Coast Eagles make their way back out onto the ground. Got a call from Gerra Bombera in New South Wales, which is part of Queanbeyan, just outside the Australian Capital Territory. Go Blues says, I think it's Dimpner. Good to have you with us. Here's a question. I'm going to throw this at Sharad Wellingham just to see how he goes. Don asks this to the ABC commentators, as an Eastern Stater, so not in the Perth bubble. I would say though, Don, if you use the term Eastern Stater, you may as well be with us in the Perth bubble. Can you give me your reasons why the West Coast Eagles have fallen so far off the perch since winning the flag in 2018? Shane will hear your thoughts in a moment too. But Sharad, as someone who was once in the nest, what's happened to the Eagles?
Oh, I think that they've obviously been decimated by injuries this year. But I think over the last couple of years, it's been a matter of losing a lot of players through retirement and axings and just finishing of career. And I think that while they were going so well, they didn't probably have enough of an eye on developing their middle-aged portion of the list. So the guys who have had to come in and fill the void left by these guys that have finished up or are out with injury aren't quite up to the level required when they step out on the pitch. They're coming in with under 15 games experience or under 20 games experience and haven't been able to fill the gap that's been left over the last couple of years by the big names that have left the club.
I would also wonder, have they ever got over the COVID years? Where
that's where they got
they
massacred.
Not just in regards to the players who left, but as a football club, it seemed to be because they were so much older than other clubs, having to go away from Perth without families seemed to affect West Coast more than anybody else. It seemed to be a real drag on them. And remember, they went far earlier than the Melbourne clubs did, which is often forgotten in this process. They went across for a good number of weeks beforehand. So I'm not sure the club's ever recovered from that. And I would almost argue that they might have kept players on the list, talk about players leaving, who potentially they might have had to have moved on because of the injury troubles that they've now been facing. And that's why you look at West Coast at the moment. Nick Naitanui is a super player, and he's got another year's contract, but they just can't get him out on the park.
That's what I mean. If the players who they have on their list were fit and able, they'd be competitive. They'd be, able to win games that they'd be no chance right now. But I think that the main thing they didn't do was get games into these guys who have had to come in and fill the void. So they're really behind the 8 ball. And I think that they also, as a club, didn't make a couple of hard decisions on players who have been around the club for a while, who had a bit of currency and maybe could have done better in terms of trading. That wasn't taken advantage of.
They might have been able to. They had their time again. It's certainly not Tim Kelly's fault, but maybe they gave up too much to get him across here when they needed to be able to boost.
And they could have got a lot for the players that they did have that they didn't want to get rid of because of obviously emotional attachment.
Andrew Gaff being one of those when he was offered a massive deal to go to North Melbourne. Hopefully that answers a bit of your questions, Don. Third term about to get underway. Here's Dave Lindsay.
The Rucks dance around the footy and barely touched the ball at the opening centre bounce. It comes back to Pitnett. He's driven into the ground in a strong tackle. Ball's still stuck underneath and we might get a secondary ball up. There's only 3 of those premiership players out there tonight for West Coast, with Duggan, Hearn and Darling out there. We'll be hoping to get a couple more back in weeks to come. As we restart again, over the footy is Hunt. He's not doing much to get this one out. Walsh tackles him. We'll get another ball up. Third quarters have been the Eagles' best this season. They've won 3 of their 6 third quarters. Carlton have struggled after half-time, winning just 4 quarters out of 12 after half-time this season. We'll need another ball up to try to get things moving in this third quarter. Ball going probably 10 metres forward of centre for Carlton so far. They're attacking the city end. Williams tries to take clean possession. Gaff was upended. Ball still stuck in there. Might be your turn, Clint, to see if we can get the ball outside of the centre square. It's still as it was at half-time, 40 points in Carlton's favour.
Wish me luck, Dave. Slap forward by Pitnet. The umpire spotted a free kick. They've taken the advantage. They will, the Blues. Everyone's stopped, and then they pop it inside forward 50, and Ed Curno's been able to take the mark.
Not sure about that
No, me either. As Hewitt was able to move it to Doherty. Absolutely everyone stopped for a moment. And then they decided to play on, and the umpire let them. So, interesting. Ed Curnow can have a shot at goal now. 45-degree angle to the left from 50 metres out. Boot makes contact with the ball. He's missing left. A minor score. 9-9-63 the Blues. They score in the opening 80 seconds or so. The Eagles 3-4-22 on Grandstand AFL.
They waste very little time getting the ball back into play, and a long kick goes towards Allen, who has it knocked away from him by Young. It's been a quiet night so far for Oscar Allen, just 5 possessions. He's been a multiple goal kicker every week so far this season. Been an excellent return after injury destroyed his 2022 season. Pitnet uses a bit of a stiff arm to get Williams out the way. It spills out the back door, but Clark's first onto it to the Eagles. Hand passes to Kelly, who's immediately wrapped up by Durden. Ball jars out towards Jinby. He gets a hand pass inside, and Gaff lays it onto Kelly. His hand pass charged down. Chincotta in the opposite direction, read it beautifully. Comes out towards Fisher on the wing. A long kick down the line. Charlie Curnow on the lead, but cutting across his bows was Witherden. Gets the fist of the footy towards the safety of the boundary. We'll get a throw in at left half forward for Carlton. It's 9-9, playing 3-4. 41 points to Carlton as Shannon Hearn, a late arrival to the bench after the half-time break.
Still would feel a little bit sore after that collision with Rotherham and Curnow. So went to take a fine mark earlier in this game. Ball thrown in. Doherty at the drop from the restart. Kicks around the body. There's Charlie Curnow leading out and marking again. In the left forward pocket, a chance to kick 5.
Did he slip, Rotham? Or was it just strength?
A bit of both. Was right on Charlie, but just wasn't able to stay and slipped through effort.
Here is Charlie Curnow. He snaps. 5 for Charlie Curnow. And 10 for Carlton. He's looking immense this evening in the forward line for the Blues. 10-9-69 Carlton, 3-4-22 the West Coast Eagles. We've yet to hit the 4-minute mark of the third term.
Yeah, slipped. Again, I don't know why there's no one playing in front of him either as a spare, just to get him a bit of a chop out. The high backs are rolling up to their players around stoppage.
In his first 4 games against West Coast, he managed just 2 goals. He's kicked 10 now in his last 6 quarters and a bit against the Eagles at this venue. Pitnet and Williams to go at it again. It's a good bounce. Williams went up with the right hand. It actually hits his left. Comes down towards Walsh. Kick goes more sideways than forward. Hewitt appeared to be held. Umpire saw that. Sard plays onto advantage. There wasn't much advantage there, but he's able to retreat with a hand pass to Doherty, who measures the kick inside absolutely perfectly to Cripps, who hands it off to Chincotta, and he fumbles. They were just about lining up for a goal, but it comes back to Hewitt anyway, who puts it out in front of both Mackay and Curnow, and this time it's Harry. Front position takes the mark, and this could end up becoming very ugly for the Eagles in this second half if the 2 big men up forward continue the way they're travelling so far this evening.
Kick from Doherty was pretty spectacular,
good,
wasn't it?
Yeah, great vision. Don't want to see them lose the effort, West Coast.
Harry Mackay's 4th mark of the evening. It's a shocker of a kick. It won't make the distance, drifting across the face off the hands of Hunt. Out of bounds for a throw-in about 20 metres around from the right-hand behind post. So Harry, who has converted reasonably well so far this evening, 2 goals, 1. He'd rather forget that last effort. Throw in right forward pocket for the Blues.
He's not confident that side of the ground, is he, with his set shots?
Ball spun back in. Silvani in front of Williams, neither with the telling tap. Witherden Soccer, ricochet off Silvani. Still there to be one. Cripps dives in for the Blues. Tries to get a hand pass out. Couldn't do so. Tackled by Witherden. Umpire spotted free kick going the way of Witherden. Cripps wasn't able to get rid of the football. Took possession, got tackled, got pinged. So Witherden now for the West Coast Eagles. Dangerous kick, tries to go up the corridor, couldn't get to Waterman. Shinkotta won it down and then gave it to Newman, kicked inside forward 50. Walsh picks it up on hands and knees, went back to Cripps under real pressure, spilled out. Duggan couldn't gather for West Coast in defensive 50. Came to Silvani, threw it on the boot, missed to the left. Minor score, 10-10. Carlton, they're 70, 3-4-22 West Coast, 6.5 gone in the third. Grandstand AFL from Perth Stadium, ABC Radio Perth and WA, Sport Digital and streaming on the ABC Listen app.
Jones with the kick in, runs his full measure and then a long kick to the wing, but Witherden, or rather Wietering, knocks it back the other way about 20 metres. Hunt onto the loose footy, hand pass towards Darling, who drops the footy, creates a real problem for his side. A hand pass to Kelly puts him under immense pressure. Chincotta appear to be driven into the ground. No, holding the ball, the free kick. Thought Jones might have fallen into his back, but he's rewarded with the free kick. So Jones away to the left, stabs it in low. Petrevski-Seaton takes the mark, comes back inboard with his kick towards Kelly. He's got Gaff breaking into the pocket, puts it out in front of him. He can't get there to take the mark. His opponent rounds him up nicely. Hand pass back to O'Neill, already with 2. His eyes really lit up there, but he's hooked it a bit too much and are behind the Eagles' first score of the quarter. It's taken 7.5 minutes. Carlton by 47 points.
Blues eventually get a kick in from Newman towards right half back. Big pack up, off hands, down to Hewitt. Doherty had the ball knocked away from him by Petrevski-Seaton. Waterman attacks the football up against Chincotta. Now to Jones for the Eagles, to Williams. Puts it inside forward 50, wanted Darling. Good spell came from Newman. Eagles fans thought it was over the shoulder. Umpire said play on. Young to Akers, breaks the Kelly tackle. Did he run too far? No, according to the officials. Short pass to left half back. Akers continues the run. Gets it back from Cripps. Now to Hewitt, just shy of the centre circles. Kicks out towards right half forward. Mackay marks on his chest. Turns, puts it into the right forward pocket. Curnow. Charlie Curnow marks. 40 from goal. Tidy Shangle, as I said, in the right forward pocket. He's kicked 6 goals 3 times in his career, has a career high of 7 once, currently sitting on 5.
Well done, Blake Akers. That's fantastic. Tucked it under the arms. Took the game on.
26-year-old Charlie Curnow. Boots cross the 50, right behind the kick. We watch it sail between the big sticks. He raises the right hand to celebrate. Goes to his big teammate in Mackay. It's hugs and high fives all round. 6 goals to Charlie Curnow. And the Blues, they're starting to make this scoreboard look embarrassing for the Eagles. 11-10-76. West Coast 3-5-23, 9.5 gone in the third.
Yeah, it was a great rebound passage of play from Akers, wasn't it? It's got it in the pretty much the back pocket. Decided to run through the corridor. Beautiful football.
Just foot skills again. It's all on the outside. Once the ball gets out, West Coast can't go with them.
If there's any Fremantle fans who could bother to watch any more football after their disappointing effort earlier today, they'll be having nightmares watching Akers do that right then. It's exactly what they could do with Fremantle.
Unbelievable decision.
Really took the game on. Involved on 4 occasions in that passage, and Curnow now with 2 goals in each of the quarters so far. Can he get to 10 tonight? The Eagles have got it out the side door. It's out towards the wing. Gaff with the left towards half forward. Darling in a wrestle against Wiedering. Tough man to beat, Wiedering. Knocks it away from Darling and then turns to the umpire and says, my hand was held. Could have been a free kick.
For what it's worth, we've still got the close one. The Demons lead by 78 points over the Kangaroos. 7 minutes gone in the third term at the MCG.
Brisbane defeated Fremantle by 48 points earlier today. The Giants by a point over Sydney and the Bulldogs by 29 over Hawthorn, who led that one at half-time. Marcus Bonampelli's 200th game. Free kick from this ball up, holding the ball against Pinton, who wants to go on with it here with Jones. The much smaller players having a few words to say to Pinton as well. A good start to the third quarter, Jermaine Jones. He'll wheel out onto the left from about 60 out. Sets it up to the top of the goal square. Can someone take a grab down there? Darling attempts and then crashes into a couple of players. He's pretty sore as he holds onto this footy. The pack develops on top of Jack Darling. Will get a ball up 20 metres out directly in front at the Farmer Freeway end. And Darling's slow to get to his feet, but he appears to be okay. Gets it back to the umpire. He'll contest in the ruck. Works it down nicely to Petrevsky-Seaton. Tried to barge his way through. A hand pass back to Gaff. Quick left foot snap. Has pulled it too far across the face. Petrevsky-Seaton is a bit sore as well as he struggles to get to his feet. The Eagles are 3-6-24. Carlton 11-10-76. Nearly 12 minutes played in the third quarter here at Perth Stadium.
Going up the middle is Sard. Spots Newman. By the way, with 6 goals, Charlie Curnow now 27 for the season, which is what Jeremy Cameron was currently on as Chera. Kicks towards left half forward. He wanted Cameron. One down by Barras. Wins that battle for the Eagles. Gave it to Edwards. Now to Foley. Short to Waterman, who marks. Still shy of the southern wing. We'll go back to Barras. Captain tonight for West Coast in the absence of Luke Shuey. Right back to Duggan. He's between fullback and centre half-back. Had space to work with inside defensive 50. They'll switch play to left half-back to Jones. Moves it short. Clark juggles the mark, but was able to snatch it in. Sends the yellow Sharon back again. Comes to Robin. Head downstairs in just a moment to a Cash Fodder. Chance for West Coast to switch play to the southern side of the ground as Duggan moves it on to Waterman, and Waterman spots Kelly. Has some space to work with. Goes on a short run and then kicks out of bounds on the full. It'll be a free kick for Carlton at left half back. A Cash Fodder's downstairs.
Yeah, Petrevsky-Seaton limped off, could hardly put any pressure on his left leg, so it looks like something with his lower left leg.
Brett Bazzo, the sub tonight.
He'll be coming on, I think. Get him in the game.
It'll be a good opportunity, some learning for him certainly with some tall targets in that Carlton forward line.
They swap Rotham and Barras.
Carlton have switched it to the broadcast side wing. Walsh, a long kick to half forward. Durden will have a leap at this one and does well. Rips it out of the hands of his opponent, turns quickly and drills it to Charlie Curnow. Electric footy from Durden, and Charlie Curnow marks the boundary line about 3 or 4 steps away to his right-hand side as he lines this one up from about 35 out.
Field kicking is very good, Carlton, isn't it? Tonight in particular.
It's been super clean.
Yes. And going inside 50. And then they're easier kicks. They're one out. So there's a lot of space for them to better move in.
Carlton's 18th mark inside 50. And Curnow from a tight angle has made a good fist of this. It just drifts across the face. And a behind for Curnow. 6 goals 2 this evening for Charlie Curnow. But 18 marks inside 50, and all but one of their 11 goals have come from marks tonight. The Blues, they lead by 53.
Shannon Hearn for West Coast. Long and high with the kick towards left half back. Young was there at the back. Wiedering got a fist on it. Spilled down to Ginby. Tackled immediately. Walsh got him. Ball up will be the call.
I reckon Brisbane took 33 against the Kangaroos that ain't gather round. Inside forward 50.
Thrown up again. Waterman got the tap down. It came to Kelly. Under pressure from Cripps. Knocked the ball to ground. Picked it up and then gave it to Walsh. Spins away from an attempted tackle to Fisher. Hand pass again to Cripps. Right, the tackle. Hand pass up in the air though. Only as far as Hunt, who as he was losing his footing got a kick away. Taken by McGovern. Strong tackle Waterman. Wrapped him up on centre wing. No prior. Eagles fans wanted it. They won't get it. Ball up instead. 11-11-77 the Blues, 3-6-24 the Eagles, 15 gone in the third on Grandstand AFL.
Mentioned that Bazzo's the sub for West Coast. Matthew Kennedy, the substitute this evening for Carlton, also still waiting his opportunity here this evening. Another ball up required on the wing. It's Young and Waterman. Young straight down to Cripps. The tap in tight. Cripps wrestles his hands free, gets it out, but Clark is there. Can't take possession. Cripps slow to get to his feet after the contest. Now Walsh applies a good tackle on Duggan. Cripps still hasn't quite got to his feet, just taking a few moments to gather himself. He's back up and ready to go. Young front position against Waterman. Palms it in tight again, down towards Walsh this time. Duggan tries to drive his legs through the tackle, leaves the ball behind. Clark's there to mop up, throws it on the left, down the line. Darling again the target. Squeezed by a couple of Blues. Petruccelli comes in and he's taken over the line. Throw in between wing and half forward. The Eagles attacking half. They're heading towards the Farmer Freeway end in this third quarter. They haven't kicked a goal so far this term. The Blues with the last 4 in the game, and Charlie Curno's kicked 3 of those.
He's got 6 for the game. Only 2 players have kicked 7-goal bags this season, Charlie Cameron and Jeremy Cameron. Can he join them as West gets a clearing kick for the Eagles? Bobbles its way towards left half forward and then tumbles across the boundary line. McGovern was out after it, couldn't keep it in. Throw in 50 out from the Eagles attacking goal. Going to the left of our broadcast position, the Farmer Freeway end in his third term. Ball spun back in. Waterman got a nudge from Pitternet. Just came down to Akers anyway for the Blues, to Walsh. Hand passes to Chera across half back. Now Chincotta gets it going a bit of a run. He's still going through the centre circles. Chincotta kicks into the left forward pocket, stretching Honey. Couldn't quite gather. Went to ground with Witherden. Umpire says play on. Ball's going to be locked in here. Big Pack surrounds it. Ed Curnow making sure it wouldn't come out. There's an Eagle underneath him. A couple of more Blues. Who climbs up off the deck last? It's Foley in there for West Coast. So the ball will be thrown up in the left forward pocket for Carlton. Barris went up, won the ruck tap, came to Hunts, got it to Ginby under pressure, got a hand pass away. Couldn't find a teammate there in O'Neill. Taken then quickly by Hollins, kicks inside forward 50. Rotham last man back, ran straight into the tackle but taken high. Around the shoulder was Honey's arm. You knew what I meant. Free kick. Not his Honey, Josh Honey.
Free kick going the way of West Coast, and Rotham with a high ball to a pack. Williams tries to get to front position, knocked towards the boundary by Pitnett. Looked as though it might have just about gone over the line, but instead players have kept it in. We'll get a ball up. So Charlie Curnow sitting on the bench with his 6 goals to his name. Only 3 players have kicked more than 6 at this venue. Josh Kennedy's done it 3 times. Holds the record with Lance Franklin at 8 at the venue. They get it deep again, Carlton, towards the forward pocket. Tackle applied and holding the ball.
Is that 8 the first game here as well?
It was. Yeah. He kicked 8, and Josh Kennedy very late in his career, his last game, in fact, with his 8.
In round 1?
It was.
Round 1?
Yep. So free kick here to the Eagles. It's Witherden who takes it in the right back pocket. A high kick towards that half back position yet again. No one can take the mark, and Hunt walks it over for a boundary throw in. Sting well and truly out of the game.
Absolutely.
53 points is the margin. The crowd very quiet, and the players almost going through the motions. They've still got nearly a quarter and a half to go.
Still got the tight one though. Demons by 66 over the Kangaroos at the MCG. 16 gone in the third term there. As Carlton emerge with the football. Doherty back in the team, chips short to centre half forward and finds Ed Curnow, who'll wheel around and move it out in the direction of Fisher. 50 from goal, kicks inside forward 50, marking Honey. Josh Honey attacked the football, was able to grab it about 40 out. He'll start his approach on goal in line with the right hand behind post.
Good lead up forward from Honey there. Fisher right on the 50-metre line, probably luring the defenders into thinking he's going to go long, but a good lead from Honey and honoured.
Josh Honey, we're right behind the kick. It's on its way. It's sweet as you'd like. A dozen up for the Blues. The goal to Josh Honey, his 2nd of the season, the 9th of his career. 12-11-83 Carlton, 3-6-24 West Coast. We've headed into time on in the third term. Carlton's lead is 59 points here on Grandstand AFL. ABC Radio, throughout Perth and WA. Sport Digital streaming on the ABC Listen app. Clint Wilden alongside Dave Lindsay, our experts, Shane Woden and Sharad Wellingham.
Just didn't fire a shot, West Coast, when they come out of the rooms after half time. I would have thought after a little bit of a break, time to reset, get a bit of energy going again. Nothing. Carlton threw the first punch and they haven't fought back at all. Been disappointing.
Fiona, you are on the right number for texts. As always, 0437 774 774. Send us your question.
Good bounce from the umpire again. Williams wins it down. A tackle applied by Kelly. As Carlton looking to get out. Akash is down on the boundary.
Yeah, Petrevski-Seaton's night looks to be over. He's putting the subs vest on, and Rhett Bazzo has taken his warm-up top off and ready to come into the game.
So change for the Eagles. Remember the old red subs vest? They were not doing that anymore.
No.
Just the old tracksuit now or T-shirt going on.
Lars weren't a fan.
No. From the secondary ball up, Chera out the back door to Saad. The chain of hand passes for the Blues sets up McGovern. He goes with another hand pass. Akers on to Silvani. They've worked it towards half forward. Silvani will get it back again. Off towards Hewitt. Good little step to change direction, but the kick a little astray. He was hoping for his captain, but Jinby stepped inside and took the mark about 40 metres out from his defensive goal. Off to Rotham. He'll turn it over. The long kick hoping for Darling's been intercepted, and Newman has it just forward of the wing.
Been good, Newman.
Newman sends it back into the middle of the ground. Here's Saad. Move it on through Kemp. Short pass to Hewitt. Kicks Carlton towards right half forward. This is Akers. We'll pop it back inside forward 50. They come from everywhere. Curnow! Charlie Curnow up and about.
That's a free run at it all the time. It does my head in.
He is a monster, but really, when he attacks the footy like that, there was no one genuinely trying to cause him some havoc.
Both West Coast defenders, Barras and Rotham, I believe, were just boundary side trying to take away that leading corridor, but
Charlie Curnow for a career equaling 7 no. He's missed to the right-hand side. Well, it's one of the easiest he's had tonight. Only from 35 out, slight angle to the right. Minor score, 12-12 to 3-6. 22 gone in the third.
Eagles have broken through the lines here. Jones with a kick towards West, forward of the wing. He can go all the way towards full forward. Waterman on the end of it in the pocket, takes the mark.
Transition football.
Shannon Hearn started it, brought it back in very quickly. And the Eagles have gone untouched coast to coast. Jake Waterman, who's had a very quiet night tonight, just his 5th kick coming up, will have a shot from about 30 out, right forward pocket, the angle tougher than 45 degrees. A couple of little bags of 4 for him during the season so far. An opportunity for his first tonight to bring the Eagles deficit back under 10 goals. Boots a ball, looks as though he's dragged it across the face, and he has. 3-7. They haven't kicked a goal this quarter, the Eagles. 25 points is their total. Carlton at 12-84, the margin 59 points. Approaching the 24-minute mark of the third quarter.
Here's Saad. Brings it away. Stabs it short. Finds Fisher. It's told to move it on. Stepped off his line to the right. And switches play to the right back pocket where Akers can wait and take an uncontested mark. Hands above his eyes. Stands on his line and then goes short back inboard again to Wiedering. Hand passes it off to Saad. They're still at full back here, Carlton. Controlling the footy. Chincotta takes the mark from Saad's kick. Puts it to left half back. There's Kemp again. It's a slow, deliberate build-up from the Blues. Short pass. Well, that wasn't great from Kemp. Doing well to get in front and take the mark was Hunts. Former Demon attacked the football. Stops and props. And he decides to send it high up into the air in the right forward pocket. Now, that's an interesting decision because Xavier O'Neill might have got 2 goals, but he had 3 Blues to beat in that contest. And Carlton happy enough to just thump it over the boundary line through Young for a throw-in. Deep in the right forward pocket. Farmer Freeway end of the ground to the left of our broadcast position. Ball to be spun back into play. Right forward pocket for West Coast.
Darling's been okay in these sort of situations. He knocks it in the path of Kelly. Wiedering was awake to it, chopped it off. Now Hewitt, hand pass to Walsh, up against the boundary, off to Ed Curnow. Squeezes a kick away. Silvani comes up towards half-back to meet the footy. Now Cripps. He's got a couple to beat and he does just that. Wins the footy and hands it away to Walsh. Quick hand pass releases Fisher. Comes back inside to Silvani with his hand pass, who drops it between his legs. And that's the end of that little chain. The Eagles get in the way. Petrelli. That was difficult for Jack Petrocelli. As he had the ball in one hand, he was tackled immediately, spun around, didn't have prior opportunity. And the umpire calls for a ball up instead. So, disputed ball. Pitnett takes it away with a quick kick. Jones coming across at half-back, wins it and then draws a couple of players to him. Gets a hand pass away to Hearn. Hand pass off towards Bazzo, the sub. His kick was a shocker. Carlton on the turnover, move it quickly. Akers has it at centre-half forward. Can he go all the way? No. He'll just chip it out in front of Charlie Curnow. He was shaping like he was going to load up and go for home. And that just gave Curnow an extra step on Barras again. He'll have a shot from pretty much right on 50.
It's hard to defend that one, isn't it? Good movement by Carlton. Change lanes.
23 goals, 9 from set shots this season for Charlie Curnow. He's missed his last couple here tonight. 6 goals, 3 on the evening from 51 metres out. This looks perfect. Goal umpire doesn't move and Curnow's got 7. Carlton's lead is 65 points. The Blues 13-12-90. The Eagles 3-7-25. We're nearly 27 minutes into the third quarter. You listen to Grandstand AFL with Sharad Willingham and Shane Woden, your experts.
How confident does he look from that distance as well? It's remarkable how he can go from 60 metres out and just know that he's going to put it 5 rows back.
Looking for him now too, aren't they?
Yeah.
Blake Akers could have gone deep.
He did a lot of work to get on the outside of Tommy Barras, who was doing a reasonable job, but just a couple of body checks, a couple of like those J kind of leads where he's ducked back towards Tom Barras and then pushed off him. Just worked and created space for himself really well.
So he joins the Camerons for most goals in a game so far this season. Charlie and Jeremy. 7 now for Charlie Curnow from the restart. Williams with the more telling tap, but it's in the direction of Cripps. He's able to shovel it back to Hewitt. His hand pass popped up into the air. Hunt took it for West Coast. Set it inside forward 50. Wiedering wins that contest up against Darling. Cully tried to slap it out. Chincotta shares it down for the Blues though. Got it with Newman. Chincotta kicked beyond defensive 50. With it and won it to ground. Comes back to Chincotta. The Blues can build once more through Ed Curnow, who'll kick towards the outer wing. Here's Curnow in the Charlie variety. Battling away again. Couldn't win it this time. And Fisher sliding through against a couple of Eagles, including Shannon Hearn, to see it over the boundary line for a throw-in. We actually still have the close one, despite the, 65 points. The Demons by 72 points over the Kangaroos. 25 minutes gone in the third term. They've already brought up the 100, the Melbourne Footy Club.
Haven't blown them away just yet.
We were expecting tonight's 2 games might be some large margins. Here's Charlie Curnow on a lead again. He has marked it 60 out, so this should be beyond him, although he spotted a vacant goal square. Long kick, Akers getting back, juggles and takes the mark. Oh, Blake Akers, he used to wear a purple jumper on this ground and he used to go okay in that purple jumper. Now he's got the navy blue on. I'll tell you what, he's going okay again. He'll have a shot after the siren to give Carlton a lead of 71 points. He won't waste much time over this one. Point blank range. Blake Akers adds his name to the list of goal kickers. They've got 7 goal kickers, the Blues. And Charlie Curnow's got 7 himself. It's Carlton 14-12-96. West Coast 3-7-25. It's a 71-point lead to the visitors at three-quarter time.
And the goal kickers for the Carlton Football Club. There's plenty of them. I'll have a quick look here on the screen. Charlie Curnow is 7. Harry Mackay's got 2. Silvani, Newman, Honey, Hollands and Akers kicking the goals for the Blues, while for the West Coast Eagles, this won't take as long. No goals in that third term. Xavier O'Neill with 2, Alex Witherden with 1, and Cash Fodder is downstairs.
Confirmation from West Coast that it's a corked quad for Sam Petrevski-Seton.
Good on you, Cash. Updating that other score for you. Melbourne 16-4-100 to North Melbourne 4-5-29. So the Demons by 71 points there. And repeating, Carlton by 71 points here. So we're all square regarding the margins between these two sides. If you'd like to send us a text, we'll run through a few of those in a moment. 0437 774 774. Love to hear from you and your comment. Fiona saying, in regards to is this the right number, she actually meant the channel. I'm here at the ground, but unfortunately I'm stuck watching it because if I was at home I could change the channel on what I'm watching. No, I understand, Fiona. West Coast at times have shown a bit of heart, but they're just being completely outplayed now. Brian is always terrific. I love Brian from Tenterden because he always listens to us, always full of praise for our commentary, and it's great to have him on board for another season. Brian, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. And again, a few more. Kylie V. Dave, can you please give me some hope for my football team as a concerned West Coast supporter? Dave, if you can, this season, you might be the Lone Ranger.
Gee, I'm going to struggle to do that, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not much hope here at all.
You're more positive than I am, Dave, but not even you can do that. West Coast, their kids are having a go, but they're being completely outclassed now. 14-12-96 the Blues, 3-7-25 the Eagles, wherever you're listening on ABC Perth and WA and on Sport Digital. And, of course, now every game streamed on the ABC Listen app. This is Grandstand AFL.
Hello, I'm Patrick Stack, and if you like great stories and you enjoy sport, then I reckon you need ABC Sport Daily in your life.
The Masters was the first time we got to see all the LIV players and the PGA Tour players who could qualify in the one place and saw that they all weren't fighting each other physically.
Yeah, I've never been asked to talk about a promotion to League 2 before in detail, Stacky.
Well, the Roosters get hammered being across the road with their salary cap sombrero.
It's your daily sports conversation, and it's called ABC Sport Daily. Find us on the ABC Listen app.
Grandstand AFL.
Now streaming every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Throwing in, Doherty at the drop from the restart. Kicks around the body. There's Charlie Curnow leading out and marking again. In the left forward pocket, a chance to kick 5. Here is Charlie Curnow. He snaps. 5 for Charlie Curnow. Now to Hewitt, just shy of the centre circles. Kicks out towards right half forward Mackay. Marks on his chest. Turns, puts it into the right forward pocket. Curnow. Charlie Curnow marks. 40 from goal. Boots cross the 50. Right behind the kick. We watch it sail between the big sticks. He raises the right hand to celebrate. Fisher, 50 from goal. Kicks inside forward 50. Marking Honey. Nosh Honey, it's on its way. It's sweet as you'd like. A dozen up for the Blues.
Akers has it at centre-half forward. Can he go all the way? No. He'll just chip it out in front of Charlie Curnow from 51 metres out. This looks perfect. Goal up wide doesn't move, and Curnow's got 7. Here's Charlie Curnow on the lead again. He has marked at 60 out, so this should be beyond him, although he spotted a vacant goal square. Long kick, Akers getting back, juggles and takes the mark. Blake Akers adds his name to the list of goal kickers. They've got 7 goal kickers, the Blues.
The 2023 AFL season.
On radio,
ABC Sport Digital.
And now streaming on the ABC Listen app.
If you're with us around WA or indeed anywhere around the world on the ABC Listen app, I regret to tell you all that we've now got the blowout because at 3/4 time, Melbourne against North Melbourne, it's the Demons 16-4-100 to North 4-6-30, a 70-point margin at the MCG. Earlier today, Brisbane by 48 over Fremantle, GWS by a point over the Swans, and the Bulldogs by 29 against Hawthorn. Shane Woden, Sharad Wellingham, what do you make of all that downstairs?
It's a bit of a training drill at the moment. No disrespect to it, but that's what it feels like, and particularly in that quarter there too. The ability to get the ball from inside to out was very good by Carlton, and in transition they're just effective with their skills at the moment, by hand and by foot, and really clean and
just able to kind of cut shapes and
get through,
utilise hands, and then as soon as someone's out, find that next one who's, might only have 2 or 3 metres on their opponent, but they're open and out, and then can find the next kick, and that's why we saw Curnow, I don't know how many marks he took inside forward 50 this quarter, but it felt like 3 maybe marks inside 50. Just need to slow them up on the fast play because they're still not going that bad in and around the contest. They're still showing a little bit in and around the contest, but like you said, just getting cut to ribbons as soon as it gets outside, and not really sure what they can do other than.
And the 50's open for Carlton.
Park the bus and get as soon as the ball leaves the centre square, just get a couple behind the play. But that's just not conducive to anyone learning anything.
Here's the question though: can the big fella, who currently has 7, kick a record on this ground? He needs 2 more. Dave Lindsay, have a look at some of those numbers for us and then we'll head downstairs.
Well, Carlton 342 disposals to the Eagles 216. The uncontested Carlton are plus 112. The marks are 91 to 45. The marks inside 50 are 21 to 3. Akers and Hewitt 28 possessions each. Cripps and Newman 26. While for the Eagles, Kelly and Huntley the way with 17.
And Cash to you at the first stoppage. Final term underway. It's about the margin for both of these teams. One down. My Pitternet came out towards Cripps, surrounded by Eagles. Can he get a ball out? He can, but only as far as Kelly, who stole it. Then ripped away by the Blues from Williams. Well done. Chance for Hewitt to kick inside forward 50. Hearn attacks the football, won it to ground. Spilled there to Hunt. Broke the tackle of Durdens. Kicks towards the outer side of the ground, and it's sat there nicely. McGovern was able to mark. Puts it back inside forward 50. It comes to Charlie Curnow. Hands it off to Honey from deep in the right forward pocket. He pops it to Silvani in the goal square. He kicks his seconds. It's a procession for those in the old dark navy blue. 15-12-102. The Eagles are 3-7-25. It came in the opening 40 seconds of the final quarter. The margin is now out to 77 points. The Cash Fodderars downstairs.
Carlton have made their sub. Matt Kennedy is into the game, and it's Adam Sard who's taken the spot at the back of the Carlton bench.
Sharrett, Shane.
Just how they extracted the ball from the centre bounce there. Carlton was so good. West Coast had it in their hands, but their ability then to get it out and go.
West Coast, I think, just beats to the honeypot. They just put too many numbers in there. They had 3v1, and as soon as that ball popped out, it was gone. Need to just have a little bit of... I know they're all trying to just get in there and have a crack, but need to have a little bit of look around and see what's happening around the ball.
14 of their 15 goals have come from marks so far this evening, Carlton. There's a big scrap going on in the middle. Kelly gets his hands away. Comes back to Ginby, tries to barge his way out. Ball spills out. Chance for Petrocelli. His hand pass into space, hoping Kelly could run onto it. Kennedy just brought into the game, knocks him off the footy. Now he's over it. The umpire had a little look, wondered whether he dived on it, decides to ball it up. Players separate themselves. So Matt Kennedy in for Sard, and earlier this evening Bazzo came into the game for Petrevski-Seaton, who's got a corky. Free kick now at the next ball up, going Pitnet's way for some holding. Hand pass away to Chera. A long and high ball towards full forward. Mackay the target this time. It goes through his hands to Hearn. He's caught, loses the footy. Kelly comes in to mop up. He actually wrestles with Bazzo for the football. Spills out to Hearn. Clearing kick. Oh, nearly losing his shorts there, Newman, but he's good enough to take the mark. Adjusts the white shorts. Goes back to have his kick about 60 out from goal. Walsh gives a lead directly at the kicker. Ignores that. Long towards Mackay and Curnow. Off hands. Little hand pass comes out. Petrocelli off to Duggan. Bounces a kick towards half-back. Waterman collects, and there's some good run from Jones. Receiving the hand pass and dashing away with a couple of bounce. Attacking down the southern wing. He's got nowhere to go.
Nothing to go to.
Decides to go back. And Waterman's kick all the way back towards Foley. It's knocked away from him. A very alert Harry Mackay makes the spoil, gets the hand pass back, and then sprays the kick across the face. And Bazzo is happy to watch that one run away for a boundary throw in left forward pocket. 77 points to the Blues, 3 minutes in the last quarter.
Pet Hayden-Mind when players don't go towards the ball that's coming at them and mark it.
And just wait for it.
Wait for it.
Eagles staring at their worst defeat of the season. Silvani wins it down in front of Williams. Came out towards Kelly. Akers to Silvani again. Throws it on the boot. It'll go up and down in the elevator shaft. Trying to get to it was Barris. It's off hands and through for a minor score. Way of the Carlton Football Club. 15-13-103 to the Eagles 3-7-25. Loz has sent us a message. Michelle and Lodge driving from Matera to Albabello. Alburo Bello, in Italy, listening in. Give us a call out to Yatesy and Dunk from Bustleton. Hope they're all enjoying the call. So there are people everywhere tuning in. They're all happy if they're Carlton supporters. Not so much if you're wearing the royal blue and gold.
Well, you have Carlton supporters from European backgrounds, of course, so maybe there could be some Blues fans over there. Carlton going forward. Walsh away to Cripps. He's going to be run down from behind. Just gets his hand pass away in time. Petruccelli was onto him. Walsh comes through to mop up at centre-half forward. Ducks out of one or two tackles and then gives it off by hand to Chera. Not too sure where to go, but this is a good option. High and long to Charlie Curnow! Oh, he had to sit there. Knee on the shoulder of Hearn. That was the worst position for the Eagles veteran to be. He wants to play on and kick another one. Charlie's got 8. Equals the record at this venue, and he's done it in style. The Blues out to an 84-point lead. 16-13, 109 to 3-7-25. This is the Grandstand AFL at Perth Stadium. Sharad Wellingham and Shane Woden, your experts.
I fell for Shannon Hearn there, didn't you?
He was just
a sitting duck.
Sitting duck.
Couldn't do anything about it. It was a great kick by Adam Chera off his left. Again, another turnover by West Coast. Just get into their kicker's hands and just get it into him.
It's a career-high 8 goals for Charlie Curnow. It equals the record for the most goals kicked on this ground in a game of football. And he still has the better part of a quarter to try and find one more. 8-3 this evening.
Should have had 10.
Yeah, go 2 more.
Should have had 10 already.
He could certainly have had 9.
Yeah,
he's missed one of the easiest that he's had, remarkable as that sounds. Couldn't get one that tapped down, but it was an ugly one, so it's going to come back. Not the tap, the bounce. Demons by 72 over North Melbourne. Both games are run and done. It's just about the margin as Williams wins it down. Jones tries to gather. Can't. Kennedy had. Stolen away by Kelly, though, for the Eagles to Hunt. Kicks quickly towards the logo. Marked there by Edwards. Edwards for West Coast on a run. Step inboard and then kick towards right half forward. West has done well. Takes the mark against Chera. Connor West. 2 kicks from goal. Puts it towards right full forward. Allen flew. Came from a long way back. Couldn't mark. Tapped out by Rotherham. Back to Allen. Oh, tackle. That should be a free kick. Akers into his back. Yes. Akers did attack Allen. And the tackle just had way too much on it. Drove him into the ground. Allen will get up. A little bit worse for wear too. Knock the wind out of him. The question I have here is, no, his head has touched the ground, but it hasn't hit the ground.
It hasn't been driven into the ground. It's rolled.
But it's almost the first instinct now when any tackle occurs. Definitely a free kick, but it's nothing more. But nowadays, it's almost the first thing you look at. So here's Oscar Allen looking for the Eagles' first goal since the 8-minute mark of the second term. And Allen converts. West Coast have their 4th. Takes a big deep breath, Oscar Allen. Still trying to get some oxygen back into the lungs after being winded in the Akers tackle that saw him got the free kick. 16-13, 109 Carlton. The Eagles move to be 4-7-31. It's a 78-point margin in front in favour of the Blues. The crowd, 47,940 here at Perth Stadium.
Just haven't had to supply West Coast forwards, have they? 27 inside 50s, and he's had limited opportunities. Oscar Allen. If it's going in as...
It's coming out.
It's coming out real quick. There's no space to better move in. Any fluent footy coming into him.
Carlton's streak of 9 goals comes to an end.
Here's our discussion. Read the bounce.
Wasn't a good one, that one, was
really?
it? Barely got above 6 feet high and probably was most dangerous to Bailey Williams, who almost had to duck out the way of it. Free kick in at the next centre bounce for an arm out across in that ruck contest against Pittonet. So Williams gets the free kick. Has a bit of room to move, so he loads up and kicks straight up the middle. Darling is in the middle of the sandwich. That's a fine mark. Kemp in from the side. When you've seen Curnow's grabbed us a minute or two ago, it's not as easy to get excited about Kemp's one, but that was a very good grab. Kicks towards the broadcast side wing, pitting it up one-handed. Williams brings it to ground. Clark gives it off to Kelly. Interesting hand pass, almost a throw towards O'Neill. Appeared to spin out of play with the footy. And then Williams and Akers both fumble it over. Throw in at right half forward for West Coast. That crowd of just a tick under 48 is the highest home and away crowd between these two clubs. The Eagles and Carlton. It's the Carlton demolition tonight. They lead by 78 points, nearly 10 minutes gone in the final term.
Ball's at right half forward for West Coast as Hunt can't get away from the Doherty tackle. Got a hand pass out under pressure though, and then Jones tackles Hewitt, the former Swan, over the boundary line. It'll be a throw-in. Still at right half forward for West Coast. 16-13, 109. Charlie Curnow has kicked 8 of those. The Eagles 4-7-31. It comes to the logo, commentary wing through Doherty, then to Akers. It kicks towards centre half forward. Hearn will mop it up. Got a hand pass away. Doherty punches it forward, back inside, attacking 50 with it, and got the arms free as he was tackled to Clark. He did well, and then Clark gets a hand pass out to Duggan at right half back. He'll come down the commentary wing. Weitering's worked Darling cleverly under the football, and that allows Chincotta to mark on centre wing.
Curnow's one out with Bazzo inside attacking 50. The kick won't get that far. Cripps flies and doesn't get his hands to the footy. Could have easily given away a free kick. Duggan, nice kick inside. Hits up Kelly. Hand pass to the runner in Hunt. He's bumped as he kicked and it affects it. Falls short and goes to Silvani. Hands it off to Chera. Little left foot pass to the front edge of the centre square for Walsh. Curnow's deep with Bazzo. He ignores that. Goes wider towards Akers, who thought about the little chip pass towards Curnow. Now ducks around onto his right. It's a long high ball to Mackay, who's being wrestled with, and that allows Curnow in from the side. And he marks directly in front, 15 metres out.
Which work did he do then?
Mountain of work, wasn't it?
Mountain of work. Just to get free. He actually probably should have got a free kick. So it grabbed you around the neck a couple of times.
Charlie Curnow's taken 13 marks, 11 of those inside 50. This is kick number 14 for goal number 9. 9-3 for Charlie Curnow. He now owns the record all by himself at this venue, and he's one away from bringing up double figures. 9 goals for Charlie Curnow. The Blues have their highest score of the season, 17-13, 115. West Coast to 4-7-31. We're only 12 minutes into the last quarter here at Perth Stadium.
It was good by Bazzo, though. At least he kept checking him and hitting him and just making him really work for it.
But that one there, where he's got his got his body on the goal side of Bazzo. Good to just see him pushing back out towards the boundary as Akers starts making his way towards the corridor.
So he just got a bit fatigued in the end. Just couldn't quite go that last 5 seconds.
Haven't had a 10-goal game since 2021. Josh Bruce in round 3 for the Western Bulldogs against North Melbourne. Charlie Curnow is one away from that almightily impressive bag. West Coast will look to try to win the clearance. Duggan, hand pass stolen by Cripps. Got a hand pass out again. This is to Fisher. Umpires spotted a free kick. Cripps had it. And get it again. Patrick Cripps goes on a run to the centre circles. Puts it back inside forward 50. Here he is. Curnow couldn't complete the mark. Spilled down to Doherty. Hand passes forward to Fisher. Fisher from the left forward pocket sends it goalward, misses right. Minor score.
Great kick by Cripps. Pulled at the last minute.
17-14, 116 Carlton. West Coast 4-7-31. 13 gone in the final term.
It's hard to imagine that Charlie Curnow won't find another goal sometime in the next 15 minutes. Shannon Hearn decides to favour the southern side. It's a good long kick. Darling on the lead. And McGovern allows him to pretty much take the mark unopposed. Rock's cheers there for Darling as he kicks to the wing for Hunt. Short pass hits up Jones, almost at left half forward. Jermaine Jones, some space to move. Down the line he goes and he puts his kick over the line. Nearly hits the security guard who's up against the fence.
Change angles.
Simply hugging the boundary and in the end overdoing it. So free kick to Carlton. Silvani to take it. He'll go towards defensive goal square to Kemp. Switches play to the left back pocket, and Newman has it now. The Blues up by 85 points at the 14-minute mark of the last quarter. He changes angles. Wants to go straight at the middle now to Cincotta, who holds the footy up. He waits and now finds an option out wide, and it's Silvani now at right half back.
It's all about the Blues. If you were worried they were perhaps missing a chance for a percentage booster, they seem to have wiped that issue away. Patrick Cripps has it, and their lead is a very handy 85 points. Cripps will switch play from right half back. He'll head back to Kemp, who marks inside his defensive 50, and then flares it out to Newman, who marks at left half back. Akers is on. That's where the kick goes. Marking uncontested against the boundary, who come down the commentary wing in front of the interchange gates. It's marked by Fisher. All uncontested marks. Fisher pauses. His teammates are over his left shoulder. Plenty of advice being given to the other Carlton players. Fisher kicks high and long towards left half forward. Mackay had hands up, couldn't mark, spills down to Charlie Curnow. Goes back to Akers. Hand pass again was meant for Fisher. He missed it. Intercepting it was O'Neill for the Eagles. Gave it to Witherden, then to Cully. Taken to ground. Got tackled by Chera. It's going to be locked in here. Cincotta making sure that ball didn't come out despite Kelly trying to take it away. Carlton is 17-14, 116. The Eagles 4-7-31. Final term here on Grandstand AFL. 15 gone in the last.
Carlton still well short of their greatest margin against the Eagles. 119 points at Princes Park in 2001. As Chera gets the clearing kick, it's a torpedo off the left boot out wide, and Doherty makes excellent ground and then diving forward takes a very good mark.
It's a great mark.
50 metres out from goal, right where the boundary line meets the 50-metre arc. So you know where his eyes are going to go here if he gets half a chance. Mackay trying to give a block on Hearn to free up Charlie Curnow in the goal square. There's a lot of numbers back though. So Doherty just sets it up. It'll drop a little short. Charlie's in the pack. Mackay there as well. But a couple of Eagles, Witherden in particular, coming across to fist it away. We'll see a throw in. 85 points. The Blues lead at the 16-minute mark of the final term. Left forward pocket throw in at the Farmer Freeway end. Carlton's attacking goals in this.
Thrown in. One down by Silvani. Straight to Jimmy though of the Eagles. Read it well and gave it off to Hunt, who kicks towards left half back. Jones misses for West Coast. Scooped up by Newman to Ed Curnow by hand. Pops it to Mackay. Marking 52 from goal. He'll send it inside forward 50. Here's Doherty. Sam Doherty back in the team this week, and he steers it inboard again to Chera. Marking 47 from goal and in line with the right-hand goal post.
27 marks inside 450. Got some time.
Adam Chera would know this ground oh so well, the former Docker. 76 games with Freo. 23-year-old in game 101, looking for the second goal of the season. He kicks from right on 50 at the top of the arc. He sends it through for another one for the Blues. Chera puts his name on the goal-kicking list. There's now 18 majors for Carlton. 18-14, 122. West Coast 4-7-31. 17 gone in the final term. The attendance has been made official. 47,940. Carlton's lead is 91 points.
Good turnout.
Good turnout.
47,000, or 48 nearly. Great to see the West Coast fans sticking behind them, even though they know they're going to be up against it for a long time.
It's sounding a little bit like a Carlton home game at the moment, though. Every time a goal goes through, there's plenty of Blues fans in Perth.
Yeah.
They're going to find some voice in the last 10 or 15 minutes of this game.
Looks like the fan club's down the Carlton end as well, so if Curnow does get a couple more.
He's having a rest at the moment. He'll have one last effort as he's sitting on the bench with 9 goals, 3, 13 marks. Charlie Curnow, career best performance and a record on this ground. As the Eagles look to burst through, Petrocelli with some speed, carries it to centre half forward, and he's found Oscar Allen in the pocket. Lost his opponent with a bit of a zigzag move. Opponent has started heading back towards the goal square, and Oscar Allen to have a shot for goal from pretty much the same spot that he just kicked one from earlier this term.
Nice ground ball get, and we know what we're going to get from Jack Petruccelli in terms of pace. So it's nice to see him break away from a stoppage there and find the forward and Oscar Allen.
He's kicked 4 goals once, he's kicked 3 goals twice, and he's kicked 2 goals now for the 4th time this season. Multiple goal kicker in every game this season. It's been a quiet night, very few opportunities, but he's still managed to find a way to kick 2 goals in this last quarter. The Eagles have 5, they're 5-7-37. Carlton are 18-14, 122. We're about to tick into time on in the final quarter. A cash on the boundary.
Rhett Bazzo's just headed down to the West Coast rooms with the team doctor.
Just that what West Coast need another. If it's an injury, just what West Coast need. They've already got 15, 16 players on that injured list.
Another key back.
Goodness me. I want to know who's in charge of keeping the Black Cats away from Laflane. or where the ladders were over the past 2 pre-seasons, or the mirrors, because the run of injuries it's getting to a ludicrous stage for West Coast.
2 years in a row.
Just incredible. Tap was one down by Pitnet. It's just gone forward for the Blues and then taken by Duggan. Wrapped up by Hewitt.
Curnow back on the ground.
Pitnet wins it down. Hewitt couldn't take it. Doherty does, kicks around the body. He's going for Curnow. Barris with the spoil. Came down though to Cripps, who snaps from 45 outs. Paddy Cripps puts his name on the goal-kicking list. They're all queuing up now, the Blues. And remarkable to think that Curnow's got 9 because there's 9 goal kickers amongst them. 19, 14, 128 to 5-7-37. 21 gone in the last, and they bounce back to that 91-point lead. For those playing along with these sorts of things, biggest win of the season so far, Geelong by 93 over Sydney.
Had to win tonight, obviously, Carlton, but win well, which they've done.
They've moved the ball the best they have all year.
Yeah.
By far.
It's a good confidence booster for them. They've got a big run coming up. Brisbane next Friday night, followed by the Bulldogs, Collingwood, Sydney away, Melbourne and Essendon. So it's a big 6 weeks. Certainly some tougher assignments than they've had tonight, but they'll certainly enter next week with a lot of confidence. The Eagles get the clearing kick out of the middle. It's been knocked back towards half forward where Gaff collects, gives it off towards a teammate, Petruccelli. He managed to get it out wide to Duggan. Kick to the pocket. Oh, Cully had it slip through his fingers. He took it a little bit too easy there. Knew he had an opportunity. There haven't been too many up forward for West Coast tonight. We'll get a ball up now, close to the boundary, 25 out from goal, left forward pocket. 91 points. The Carlton lead. 7 minutes of play remaining. Charlie Curnow sitting on 9 goals at the other end of the ground. Cripps tries to barge his way through, loses the footy. West's kick might have just travelled the 15. Could someone mark it? No, it's been knocked away from Allen. Back towards the pocket. Cripps is a bit sore. The ball actually comes to him while he's hobbling around. Hands it off to a teammate whose kick was smothered. Duggan away to Kelly. 35 out up against the boundary. His kick doesn't travel 15, so there won't be a mark paid. It comes to ground. Duggan works his way through the traffic again. Bounces a kick goalward, and Newman from about 5 metres out slaps it through for a rush behind. Brings the margin back to an even 15 goals. A cash on the boundary.
So Bazzo's gone down to the rooms for a head injury assessment. We're still waiting confirmation on whether he'll be out of the game or not.
He fails it. There's another player unavailable for West Coast. Still got your boots, Shaz?
Yeah, but I think Oscar's doing a good job with my jumper.
Well, they don't mind calling up former players for the WAFL side. Well, Schofield having a run. Having a run the other way. Well, they're desperately short.
Is Masto going to have a run?
Kick for Carlton goes to the outer side. There's Pitnet.
If I could get through a game, I reckon I actually wouldn't mind it.
Josh Kennedy said he might be interested in having a run as well for the WAFL side because they've just got no one left as everyone has to come up to the league team. The Blues, by the way, missed nothing, go across half back. That's a dangerous kick from Kemp, though. One down by Oscar Allen. He turns it over, goes to Cully, and Cully can bounce it through from 50 out. A goal for the Eagles. And the 30,000 or so that have remained here at Perth Stadium, they'll cheer like it's the one that put them in front. Giant Coley, 4 goals last week. Gets his name on the Eagles goal-kicking list tonight. West Coast 6-8-44, Carlton 19-14, 128. We've travelled now 24 and a bit minutes in the last term. Carlton's lead is cut back to 84 points.
Yeah, it was a shocking kick. Not sure who.
I think it came off the outside, didn't it?
Absolutely did. I think it's Kemp, maybe. There's a shank. He's passionate, isn't he?
Very excited.
Talking about one of the supporters on the big screen. He's been around for a long time, that guy.
Yes, he has.
A long, long time.
I think he might have been involved in the Michael O'Loughlin.
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't the target of the Michael O'Loughlin spray, but he was very close to him. 6-6-6 free kick here, I think, going against Carlton. So Williams gives a hand pass away to Hunt, who tries to sidestep an opponent and then chips a little pass to Duggan. Gives it back to Ginbey, carries it to centre-half forward. Long kick towards full forward. It's all Carlton. So many players down there that Young actually gave a shove in the back to his teammate and took the mark at the top of his defensive goal square. Kicks out towards half-back for Fisher. Next kick is a tough one for Durden to mark. He mops it up nicely, though. Spinning around, he gives a hand pass to Fisher. They've worked a nice chain of hand passes to Newman now. On the centre line, Silvani gives it off to Walsh. They've broken it open. All eyes look forward towards Charlie Curnow. Hewitt has the footy. Kicks in his direction. Out in front of him and Barris. Gets rid of Barris. Over the back in the pocket. Curnow bumped over by Witherden. Witherden did very nicely to cover. We'll get a ball up 25 metres out. Deep in the right forward pocket. Curnow still on 9 goals as he's helped to his feet by a couple of teammates.
You'll be thrilled to know we've got the close one again. Because Melbourne are out to a 108-point lead over North Melbourne, 23 gone in the last. And the restart, it's thrown in. Silvani got it, kicked towards full forward, knocked down by Rotham. Was he into the back?
No.
He wasn't. Had to do well then because diving forward was Durden when he received the football. It'll be a ball up instead at full forward for Carlton. Where is Curnow? Charlie Curnow out to the left. Williams wins it down. Getting to it, the Blues. It'll come to Newman, originally from Walsh. Newman kicks towards full forward. Harris is able to win it down.
Well, he had a pass it to him.
He was so within his rights to have a shot there.
I thought he was going to have a ping. He's tried to go to Curnow standing at the top of the goal square, and Harris was like, oh, what's happened here?
At least he's got a sense of theatre, doesn't he?
Well, they know they're going to win. They are trying to get Charlie Curnow the 10. But in the meantime, West Coast through that are able to work it away towards right half back. He knows all about the narratives, obviously. Good stuff.
It was almost a volleyball dig there from Barris as well, as the ball struck him rather than he tried to take a mark. Ed Curnow has the footy. He'll definitely look for his brother if he can, but not from this position. Short to Kemp.
Oh.
And Jones has just walked over the mark.
I just empty out the 50.
So
duck rule.
50-metre penalty.
One in the cage.
Get out.
Kemp has the footy with the man on the mark standing about 43 metres out from goal.
Forget Pagan's paddock. Make it Charlie's corner.
Well, he's standing at the top of the goal square. He's got a couple of Eagles surrounding him. And you can hear the Carlton fans behind the goals.
Now they're just going to anchor him.
Yeah.
It's not going to... We've done it all night.
Barris is doing everything he can but hold him. Kemp's kick looks pretty good.
No.
It looks outstanding.
Don't even need Charlie.
Never mind Charlie Curnow in the goal square. Kemp will do it himself. And the Blues come from everywhere to celebrate with Brodie Kemp for his first goal in AFL footy. And the Blues have 20. 20 goals, 14, 134. West Coast to 6-8-44. It's a 90-point lead at the 28-minute mark of the final term.
He's played really well tonight, Kemp. I think that started the game really well, didn't he, with a couple of intercept marks in the defensive 50 and used the ball reasonably well other than maybe that turnover, but I think he's played a really good game.
He's been good. Been solid down there. 12 marks.
He's marking it, yeah.
First game of the season for the 21-year-old, taken at pick 17 in the 19 draft.
He's had the 21 disposals, 17 of those have been kicks and a goal. Really good game from Kemp.
12 marks. Charlie Curnow's got 9 goals, but Carlton have got 10 different goal kickers now. The Blues look to take it away from the middle. The Eagles will try to get there. Chera put his head over the football, was taken high by Edwards. Worked it to Hewitt. They'll take the advantage to Silvani. Here it goes to Kennedy. Kennedy from centre half forward decides to go for goal. And the subs kicked another one. They've got 11 different goal kickers. Every eye turned to where Charlie Curnow was. He was at right full forward. It travelled over the top of him. They are going to review this.
I think the post on it.
Durden.
His initial pattern, Charlie, too wide.
That was because Durden started coming back at him in this pocket.
Going straight to the goal square.
Soft call was a goal.
Soft call was a goal?
I'm certain it was.
Doesn't look overly definitive from the camera angle we're looking at, does it?
Yeah, it's the very, very top of the right-hand goal post if it's touched.
Padding.
Sorry, the very top of the padding, you're correct. Not the top of the goal post. That would be some sort of kick. The top of the padding.
Just goal. Move on.
Not sure you can overturn that. Where's Snicko tonight? Is it working? We're waiting for that to bob up. Demons by 102 now, 27 gone in the fourth. Oh, North have kicked another one. Demons by 96. 22-7-1-3-9, 6-7-43. That's the score between Melbourne and North at the MCG. Now we get Snicko. There's nothing on the line from what we can see.
All that.
Which means we just wait for it to come officially downstairs on the big screen. It's a goal. Which means margins are level across the country. They're both 96 points. 21-14, 140 the Blues. 6-8-44 the Eagles. 31 gone in the final term, so you could have two games setting the record, played on the same night, for the biggest win of the season so far.
Still 3 minutes of play here. Still Charlie Curnow with 9 goals.
I wonder what it is that's keeping Kennedy out of the side at the moment. Is it too many of the same kind of player in that Carlton midfield?
Is this his first game back for a little bit, or was he been playing?
Oh, he was obviously out with being as the sub.
He's desperate to make an impact in the short amount of time he's got here this evening. Has a goal. Chera applies a good tackle, turns the football over. Fisher gives it off to Kennedy. Kicks out into some space. Ed Curnow and Mackay lead in the race. Ball didn't really sit for Ed Curnow, which allows Rotham to come in and tackle. Support from Hollands arrives. He bundles a kick along the ground, but Kelly gets back to half-back to win it for West Coast. High kick towards Darling. He's beaten pointless there by Wiedering. Had a good night, Jacob Wiedering. Marking on the wing, kicks inside to Chera. He'll go all the way back to Kemp, who earlier this evening kicked his first goal in his career.
He switches it towards left half-back. Blues looking to build again. Comes to Akers, who's had some sort of night on a former home ground. Moves it short to Fisher. Fisher says, everybody just calm down for a moment. He'll stab it short to Kennedy. Kennedy will look to switch play. It's a thumping kick towards centre half back. Here's Wiedering. Plays on by hand. Chincotta receives it. Kicks towards right half forward. Here's Ed Curnow. It's on. It's on for Charlie Curnow. He marks. 51 out from goal. Has to turn. Unselfishly, he'll kick towards the top of the goal square. Can't find a teammate. Jones is happy to take it over the boundary line.
Unselfishly.
No,
Shank.
I'm going to say he's tried to get it at the top of the goal square. I'll always look for the best. Spun in again. There's still time for him. Comes down. Harry Mackay looked to slap it out the back. That was a throw from Fisher, I thought. Umpire says play on. Chincotta picks it up, kicks around the body. Here's Charlie Curnow again, punched away from him by Barris.
Ooh.
And it bounces into the left hand behind post.
He's on a good defender. One-on-one.
Holding it.
Just about caught that and threw it over his shoulder behind post. So last 75 seconds of the game. Deep in attack, Mackay wanted to take clean possession. Ball in dispute, top of the goal square. And Eagles players dived on this. It's Rotham, he's tackled. It'll be a ball up, 15 out. Curnow stands in the goal square with his back turned at the moment. He's got Barris just leaning his shoulder into him. Ball up again. Mackay swats it. Coming through, Walsh scoops the footy up. He's tackled. Hand pass back to Silvani, who snaps and kicks another one. Silvani's got 3. And Carlton have a lead of over 100 points. 22-14, 146. West Coast to 6-8-44. 102 is the margin inside the last minute of play.
Just been good with their hands tonight.
Yeah, really
inside,
good,
haven't they? Just to be able to absorb the pressure, take the tackle, free them.
And that's what's enabled them to be damaging outside.
Just haven't been able to hold the ball inside the contest, West Coast. Just to be able to stand up in a tackle and fight it. That was Walsh on that time.
Full time at the MCG. The Demons have won that by 90. So this will be the biggest result of the season so far as Williams wins it down. Is there one more chance for the 10? Here comes Fisher for the Blues to Pitternet. Hands it off again to Kennedy. He looks for Charlie Curnow. Doesn't find him. Finds Mackay.
Oh, he's looking for him.
He plays on. Kicking the left forward pocket. Still can't find him. Getting in the way was Durden. There's pats on the back for Mackay from his teammates saying, well done for trying to find Charlie Curnow. Does he have a go here, Corey Durden? Does he look for the impossible?
Charlie's pointed at have a shot. 9 it's going to be.
Corey Durden comes in. He becomes their 12th goal kicker for the Blues, kicking truly from 40 metres out. It's an almighty thump of a win. 23-14, 152 to the Eagles, 6-8-44. 36 minutes gone in the final term. Carlton's lead is 108 points.
Yeah, very disappointed, West Coast. I just thought as soon as they came out after half-time, no energy.
Yeah.
I've just shifted back to second gear and just didn't fight.
Well, the heat was on the Blues tonight coming across to Perth. A couple of disappointing efforts back-to-back before tonight's smashing of the Eagles. They have responded in style here, Carlton. A 108 thumping of West Coast, 23-14, 152 to 6-8-44. Charlie Curnow, the star, with 9 goals.
We are the Navy Blues. We are the old dark Navy Blues. We're the team that never lets you down. We're the only team old Carlton knows. With all the champions they like to send up, we'll keep our end up, and they will know that they've been playing against the famous old dark Blues.
It's a massive win by Carlton. They came to the West under severe pressure, having lost their past 2. It's an emphatic victory for them. They led by 21 at quarter time, by 40 at half time, by 71 at the final change to go on to win by 108 points. It's their biggest and the biggest victory of the season. The star of the show, Charlie Curnow, with 9 goals.
We are the Navy Blues. We are the old dark Navy Blues. We're the team that never lets you down. We're the only team old Carlton knows. With all the champions they like to send up, we'll keep our end up, and they will know that they've been famous old dark blues.
It's woeful though for West Coast. Their biggest loss of the season. And another 100-point belting. They suffered 2 last year. It's their first measure of that level of humiliation in 2023. 23-14, 152 to the Eagles, 6-8-44. They had a go for a quarter, and then it was just all about Carlton and how much would be the margin. The goal kickers for you for Carlton, we've told you throughout the night. Charlie Curnow with 9, Silvani with 3, Harry Mackay with a couple, and then Durden, Newman, Honey, Hollins, Cripps, Akers, Kemp, Chera and Kennedy. 12 different goal kickers for Carlton. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's remarkable. I just had to make sure. Well, for the West Coast Eagles, you know, sometimes you go, really?
Did the lines go that far down?
Yeah. Yeah, it was 12. O'Neill kicked 2 for West Coast. Allen kicked 2. Witherden got 1. Cully got 1. The West Coast Eagles, 4 goals. It's been an almighty performance from Carlton. Terribly, terribly disappointing performance, no matter how many players they were missing from the West Coast Eagles. And you had that point at the end where Carlton were happy just to try and do their best to get Curnow his 10th goal. Haven't had a bag of 10 for 757 days. The last, Josh Bruce in 2021, 2nd of April 2021, when he kicked a bag of 10, playing the Western Bulldogs in those days, up against North Melbourne. So in the end, we did have the blowout here. 108 points. Biggest win of the season for the Carlton Football Club. And the Blues will be up and about. Immediately, it won't have a huge change. We talk about a percentage boosting win. They have had the draw, but you don't want to rule out that other teams may pick up a draw throughout the season. It's always handy to have a useful percentage boost. What it has done for them in regards to their percentage, that has gone from 92.4 to 113.3. They do have the 2 points for a draw, though, of course. So they've got 18 competition points now. Carlton sitting up into 6th. So they dropped from 8th at the start of the round. They dropped out to 9th with the way the other results had gone. They've jumped up to 6th with the victory tonight. But, of course, games to come. Essendon, Geelong, Richmond, Gold Coast, Adelaide, Collingwood, all to come tomorrow. But what an absolute shellacking West Coast have faced. Let's get your thoughts, gents. Jared Willingham, Shane Woden on Grandstand AFL, and well played to the Blues supporters. They've stayed in their masses.
Lots of them, isn't there?
Everywhere in the country. West Coast probably barred last 6 or 7 minutes in the second. But even though they were 40 down at half time, you could they were still having a go. Where their effort and their intent was there. And we spoke about the top, that the ability to sustain it again was going to be the issue. And that second half, as I said before, just coming out after half time, just lacklustre in their effort. And Carlton put the foot down and away they went, and that was it. And then the balloon burst and nothing left. West Coast, they sort of couldn't wait to the final siren. Well, that's how it looked anyway.
Yeah.
Certainly up here. They'd be disappointed with how they finished that game.
I just think that they struggle with loose ball ground gets, contested, withstanding contest, so their ability to take on a tackle, test the tackle, find someone who's free. They're just getting numbers in around there, and that's the only way that they're able to not get smashed at the contest at the moment, is just by beating numbers around the ball, which isn't conducive to, I think, them having a good game style outside of that contest, because you're already numbers down.
Yeah.
You try and shape away from that contest, which we saw Carlton do really well. Their ability to let one or two guys do the work. If they're able to break away, find that one, and then bang, bang, they're out. It only takes 1 or 2 possessions till you've got someone in space.
West Coast get too close.
They're getting too close because they are trying to put in that effort, and everybody's wanting to put their nose in the trough and show that they're wanting to have a crack. But then it's almost their undoing as well, because I just don't think they have the ability at the moment, those guys, to hold up against a Hewitt, Cripps, Walsh, Shearer.
If at times, I agree. I absolutely agree. They're not experienced enough and bigger bodies in there to. Yeah, that's why I probably would have flipped the magnets a little bit just to have a look at something else. I know you could probably rob Peter play Paul for a little bit, but I'd love to see Cully get back in there tonight and just throw his weight around and see what he can do, because he's a tough bug. He's a big body.
It's a big body, but are they training it enough? Are they doing enough in tight, close? Because they're still trying to, I suppose, teach the game style of how they want them to move the ball, probably, and how they want to set up and. But I'd love for them to, at training, I don't know, for the next month or whatever, just be contest, win the contest, and rely on people to win the contest and shape it out. And then you might see a little bit of territory to come into the game where they can shape it out, kick it in, and then lock it in behind, set up behind.
I feel like they've just got no confidence when they do get out, do they?
Yeah.
1, to move the ball, 2, to retain it, because it's just getting opposition winning it back and going back the other way really quickly.
Because Carlton aren't the benchmark in that respect.
Oh, God, no.
They're, like I said pre-game, they're middle of the ground in terms of where they are in contested footy and clearances and all those key factors. They're middle of the ground, and maybe they played a higher brand of footy than they have so far this year, as we said.
I'm just watching
the brothers.
And not just Ed, but the entire Carlton team push Charlie to the front. King Charles to make his way down the race first. He'll lead this ground with the record for the most goals in a game at Perth Stadium. He booted 9 tonight as his team crushed West Coast by 108 points. Let's head down into the rooms where we'll find the victorious Blues, and alongside them, Akash Fodadar. Akash.
Thanks, Clint. Yeah, they're just making their way in now. Sam Doherty's managed to get his way to the front of the line as they come in. There's a fairly big group of Carlton supporters here, as you can hear them cheer their team in. Spoke to one supporter, actually, who said he got a bit sick of seeing Carlton come over here and get belted by West Coast, so this felt like sweet revenge for him and some of these WA-based Carlton fans. The group's just getting themselves together now, ready for the song, and I can imagine it'll be a pretty raucous one with a lot of the attention, I'm sure, to be on the 9-goal hero, Charlie Curnow. Just about ready to go, I think. As there's a bit of a sports drink shower as well for Chincotta for his first win as a Blue. And Charlie Curnow's dumped someone himself as well. And all right, here they go. Pretty happy group down here, Clint. We should hopefully have a chat very soon.
Back to when you've got someone. Akash Fodadar, very busy tonight. Great job downstairs. Repeating that full-time result. Carlton 23-14, 152 to West Coast 6-8-44 on a night where there were 2 absolutely lopsided games. Some might make the point, Sharad Willingham, but there's a couple of uncompetitive teams in the competition, with another one to be introduced and possibly one more. I'll just chuck that out there for those of us who were with Sports Talk this morning.
But what if they had those 16 or so players who were on their list available?
But they didn't. They did it, though. 22-7, 139, Melbourne to 7-7, 49. The Demons beating North by 90 points. West Coast...
dire, isn't it?
Yeah, and they've dropped to the foot of the ladder with the percentage damage done tonight. So the Eagles, I know it's been chuckled about, the battle for Harley Reid, but yeah, West Coast are now last on percentage, below Hawthorn, who also lost today by 29 points. But yeah, we need to celebrate Carlton. They came over here, they were under pressure, they were expected to win.
And they did it in an amazing fashion.
That's right, yeah. They were terrific tonight, the Blues. And the confidence, you've both been in situations when you need a win. When you get one like that, what does it do for a group? Shane?
Oh, certainly. I think their morale certainly jumps up another level, absolutely. I think they'll just bank it and run, though. I think they'll understand and respectfully know that, yeah, they've won, but they've also beaten West Coast.
But
a road run, a road game
absolutely.
as
well. And it's a great confidence booster. No question.
That plane ride home would be great.
Yep. And I think also more than their method too was really exciting. I think defensively they were good, contest very good, and how they moved the footy to their tools and to their front half was exceptional.
Let's go down to a Cash Whadadara. Cash.
Thanks, Clint. I've got Blake Acres with me. Blake, first game back here in Perth. Big win. How'd that feel?
Yeah, it was good. I think I suppose the boys really needed that one. We've had a lot of work on the last few weeks, and to get it done like that, proud of all the boys and all the effort we did.
And it's almost like you had that wing to yourself as well, getting up and back, kicked a goal, over 30 touches. How do you describe your own form at the moment?
Yeah, I suppose it's going all right. It's good having Cripper inside and Walshy opening it up for me and getting out to me. So and Big George Hewitt as well is doing his job. So we're all working together really well, and I think we're building a good system in there. And it was nice to be able to hit the forwards on the tit this week.
And I guess the big thing is the Charlie Curnow show, front row seats. What was that like, having someone so hot in the forward line?
Oh, mate, well, to be honest, we tried peppering him there at the end there. Hopefully try to get him his 10, but mate, he's an absolute superstar. Harry, he played a really selfless role in Brass tonight, and he limited Brass's impact, so Charlie should have sort of had his one-on-ones. Brass wasn't able to come over and do his thing, so Harry did a really good job in part of what Charlie was able to do.
Did Charlie get to a point later on where he was like, guys, you just got to kick it to me?
Nah, we sort of set it out there. Just let's try and get him the footy and get his 10. But Durd's got his one at the end there, which is great. He's going through a bit, so stoked he got his. And a few of the boys kicked their first snags tonight, Kempy and Ollie Holland. So a lot of reward for effort there tonight. It was good.
Blake, thanks so much for your time. Well done on the win.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
They don't mess around downstairs, the Carlton Football Club.
Thanks, mate.
It's in and out. See if you can find Adam Gilchrist down there. I know he's a Carlton supporter. Cash for today.
Oh, I thought a cash was thrown to us.
No.
Thank you for your time, Blake.
No, there's how do I put this? Carlton are short and sharp.
Yeah.
Are they? Okay.
Yes.
Who's their media manager?
Is that coming from the top?
Will? No, I don't think it comes from the top. Will's very you're in, you're out. If you've got a bit of clout like some of our other boundary riders who might work on major television programs, they can sort of go, just go away. It doesn't quite work for everybody else around the place. So, yeah. Anyway.
Nice of them to give us Blake Acres, who played a great game.
It was good. It was good to have a chat with him, albeit very shortly. Anyway, thanks very much for your company. We'll need to get the votes when we can next. We'll flick them through to you. Carlton by 108 points.